Hey, folks. Let me know if my sound is off today. Yeah, this weekend I cleaned off my desk, and in doing so, I accidentally modified all of the knobs on my mic thing. So, oops. So I think I readjusted them, but please let me know if I sound fine. Fantastic. Great. Well, let's get started here. One, we've played Interactive Entertainment's issues 1, 2, and 3, and now we're moving on to issue 4. Today we're going to be going through about 2 hours of interactive entertainment, and then we're going to do MLM, Get Rich Quick, and Pyramid Scheme VHS tapes. So get a soda, get a drink that tastes good. Oh, I had another. Okay, so I bought some pumpkin spice creamer and oh, my stream title. I knew I forgot something. Oh, let me fix this. Ah, there we go. I knew I didn't adjust my get live notification. There we go. And boom. Okay. All right. So, yeah, let's get started here. I got some folks to thank real quick, though. Thank you, Neo Zero, for the 6-month resub. It is time to make lots of monies. Thank you, Null Problems, as well. 6-month resub, half a year. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I planted my NFT tree. When do I harvest the cyber fruits? Right now. And last but not least, thank you so much to Cambertian, a 100-bit donation. Thank you. Buying stocks in today's stream. You are going to have so many good investment opportunities on this stream. But before we invest, let's go to the wild world of Interactive Entertainment 04. So if you haven't watched it before, Interactive Entertainment is a multimedia magazine CD-ROM. And it's a magazine, but it's CD-ROM. That's basically it. There's a lot of banter between the people who do the reviews here. Also, do you like do you like this? It's Xena.
IE travels to Chicago for the 1994 Summer Consumer Electronics Show for a look at what's new, what's hot, and what's not. Experience CES coverage like you've never seen or heard it before.
Fiddle-dee-dee, the jester is me. Welcome, everybody, ghouls and fools. Welcome, ghouls and fools, to Interactive Entertainment Issue 4. All right, we've got a lot of news and reviews, so why don't we go to the news? What is the news, dudes?
New on CD this month, the QQP's The Grandest Fleet, Space Hulk, a big release last year by EA, Daryl Gates' Police Quest Open Season, published by Sierra, Ultimate Domain, the recent British strategy import from Software Toolworks, and Inherit the Earth, an adventure game
Inherit the Earth! That's for you furries out there, freaking out on the furs.
This year's PC Expo at the Jacob Javits Center in Manhattan showcased many new products from leading PC software and hardware developers. While the entertainment category was barely represented, both Creative Labs and MediaVision, makers of the Sound Blaster and Pro Audio sound card families, MediaVision displayed their new line of 3D sound cards, which use SRS sound enhancement technology to produce a surround sound effect from two ordinary speakers.
I love the vaporwave they've got going here.
The new cards in the Sound Blaster family, such as the AWE32, were there for the listening, and they sounded loud and clear, even in a crowded and noisy pavilion. On July 12th, Atari Corporation officially announced that they have licensed their Jaguar engine to Time Warner Interactive for use in their coin-operated arcade games. Additionally, Time Warner, which has produced such arcade hits as Hard Drivin', Race Drivin', and Road Blasters, agreed to make any and all titles they developed on the Jaguar platform available on the Jaguar home system. Also on July 12th, Atari Corporation confirmed that the majority of the 300,000 Jaguars, which will be made by the end of 1994, will be manufactured by IBM in their Charlotte, North Carolina plant. Sam Tramiel, president of Atari,
I didn't know Jaguar was from the South.
Strength and support, as this will allow
Am
the
I a
Jaguar to
Jaguar
remain
stan
the only home
now?
video game system that is made in the U.S. Former Minecraft president Ali Atabek has joined the staff at Interplay. Autobek is best known as the designer of Magic Candle and Siege. Rumor has it that Interplay will be publishing Minecraft's last project, Mechamander, although this has not been substantiated at press time. LucasArts' Rebel Assault, which has purportedly sold upwards of 200,000 units for
the president
PC
of
CD,
Minecraft,
was
Mr.
released
Minecraft.
for the Sega CD on July 13th. JVC, who is publishing the port, has published 4 previous Star Wars titles. In terms of gameplay, story, sound, and graphics, Rebel Assault for the Sega CD is virtually identical to the original PC release. Alliance Interactive Software has acquired the rights to the original
Danny,
Harpoon
this looks like a
product
game
line.
for you.
Alliance's affiliated label, Arsenal Publishing, will be publishing an updated version of Harpoon on CD with over 200 scenarios and every add-on ever produced for the original Harpoon line. Additionally, the CD will include Harpoon Online from Kesmai Corporation, which will allow multi-person play. These will be followed at the end of the year by a completely new Windows version of the game.
Forget reading, folks! Alright, what is on the cover? Oh, we'll get to that. Well, let's go to the table of contents. And first, here we go, the interactive interview. Last month, it wasn't interactive. I don't know if you recall, but we had to do it the manual way, so this one is interactive. So let's go. What do you think about the competition's flight sims overall?
All of the same features, and they all implement these features to a greater
He's dressed like a pirate!
And everyone has come to expect those features.
I'm sorry to be like this, but he's Cabin Boy from Cabin Boy. It's Cabin Boy.
It implements, say, the renderer feature a little bit better, or it does texture mapping a little bit. It does one of these crazy things a little bit better. And our attitude with Flight Unlimited was not to do that. It was to say that, listen, there's something missing from the experience.
I love him. Could other companies make flight sims as real as Flight Unlimited? Why don't you use any bitmapped details in Flight Unlimited? Why?
Human beings are very good at picking out small differences in detail between things, and that's something that we try to do very, very carefully in Flight Unlimited, is make sure that all the transitions of visual languages make a lot of sense, that the screens make sense, and that you're always being transported into this rendered world, and there's a very strong differentiation between things which are rendered and things which are flat. And so that people who are playing it never feel overwhelmed in any way, and so that it always is making good visual sense, and that's part of being honest.
Why did you use a photographic landscape for Flight Unlimited?
Synthetically generated scenes never have that photoreal bite, that kind of
brought to you
sense
by
of
Diet
super reality that Flight Unlimited has. The thing that really makes it revolutionary, rather than just kind of pushing to the next kind of level of cartoony-looking graphics.
Let's ask, how large is the Flight Unlimited world? Large? Small? Large? Medium?
It depends on how much memory you got. If you have 4 megs, it's about, I guess, 5 miles by 5 miles, but it's textured, it's tiled in such a way that, I don't know if you noticed, but the world you were in was 5 miles by 5 miles. Mm-hmm. Not Aspen, but the desert one. And you'll just never notice because of the way that we tile it. If you have more memory, the area we tile just gets bigger and bigger. If you have 16 megs, it's about 15 by 15 miles. So you'll never run out of little places to look at.
Are you working on any applications for a virtual reality platform?
Right now, System Shock.
I would hate to be interviewed by a jester. Just terrible.
Sets of goggles, the Victor Max and the Forte, and it works pretty well. Flight Unlimited is a much better candidate for the VR kind of thing.
How do you adapt your programming to this virtual reality?
We divide everything up very clearly between physics and 3D and 2D technologies, and the 2D technology is the one that we need for the goggles. We simply, draw 2 frames instead of 1, and change the view vector from being facing out of the center between your eyes here to just 2 facing out like this, and then everything else just happens automatically because we just do it the same way our eyes do.
Do you have any thoughts on a possible Flight Unlimited sequel, like Flight 2, Fly Harder?
I'm kind of toying with the idea right now of the possibilities of a combined kind of strategy simulation game in which you are in one of the vehicles in a strategy game, and you're having to pilot this vehicle in real time, but the strategy thing is going on.
And did you have anything to do with the programming of System Shock? Answer for yourself, Seamus.
I wrote the physics system that lets you, lean around corners and does all the guns and all the collisions between things and the creatures bouncing and running and jumping and climbing and any motion in System Shock is due to me.
Thank you. How did you end up working for Looking Glass? Did you just walk through the mirror?
I was looking for a job and entered a posting on the bulletin board of the physics department at Tufts University. And
Tufts?
so I called up and I found that it was the same guy who had done Chuck Yeager's Flight Trainer, which was the program that taught me how to fly.
Mm-hmm.
That would be Ned Lerner, who's just down the hall over there. And I actually got to come up and interview and talk to Ned.
What do you remember from your job interview? Did they attack you with baseball bats?
In fact, I had insulted in the interview Chuck Yeager because I was already at this time imagining what I could do with this fluid dynamics model and thing. And I really wanted to do a flight simulator. I had just learned how to fly aerobatics in sailplanes. I really wanted to do an aerobatic trainer for sailplanes. And I started to kind of work on it a little bit on my Amiga at home. And I, between teaching Physics 1 to a bunch of damn engineering freshmen, and I got a chance to come up here and insult Chuck Yeager for its flight model and things like that in front of Ned. And then Ned said, "Oh, I wrote that." It's like, oh. Damn, sorry, Ned. And from that minute, I knew that Looking Glass was really the place for me.
King moved to insult them, honestly. All right, how are the programming chores divided up at Looking Glass? Does one person wipe the mirror and the other, turn it? Oh, the gesture is deflating.
We have people who have a very solid foundation in mathematics. So when we look at a texture map, we see a problem in sampling. We know how to propagate the error in our numbering system through the sampling problem. We know how to arrange for clipping and the correct limiting of values and test cases and things like that. And additionally, we have a lot of guys trained in programming from MIT who are very accustomed to dealing with limit cases of programs and of test cycles and things like that, which is a rigorous standard that we hold ourselves to that we see very few other game companies hold themselves to it.
How did you record the sound on Flight Unlimited?
We have an excellent sound guy here called Greg Piccolo, late of the band Tribe, which you may or may not know. They recently broke up. They're an alternative band that had a couple of albums out.
A band
and
called
Greg has a very
Tribe,
extensive
huh?
home studio, multi-tens of thousands of dollars studio, and he has this digital audio tape recorder. So we took it up and strapped it to his chest, in this airplane, and we flew some loops and snap rolls and lump locks and things like that, and recorded what it sounded like inside the airplane.
What can we expect from the sound on Flight Unlimited?
You throttle down really quickly, it will go boom, 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 and sputter correctly, depending on what kind of engine it is. And have a separate channel for wing noise, also driven from the physics model, and then a separate channel for propeller noise, also driven from the physics, so that you'll get a really nice integrated sound environment.
And what's the music in Flight Unlimited going to be like? Is it by 2 Unlimited? Oh, I think I've done enough. I'm back. What's the music in Flight Unlimited gonna be like? Da 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 da.
As I mentioned to you before, I'm not going to enforce my musical taste on anyone else. Play whatever music you want. And the FBO will have incidental sound effects, dogs barking, planes flying overhead, cars driving by, things like that, just to kind of liven up that environment. You have an excellent sound guy.
I think we're out of questions. Okay.
Tribe, which you may or may not know. They recently broke up. They're an alternative band.
All right, we've done the whole shebang.
And Greg has a very extensive home studio, multi-tens of thousands of dollars studio, and he has this digital audio tape recorder. So we took it up and strapped it to his chest, in this airplane, and we flew some loops and snap rolls and lump locks and things like that, and recorded what it sounded like inside the airplane.
All right, let's go to the main menu here. Good interview. I think we learned a lot. Check the table of contents. Let's see the letters to the editor. Non-interactive interview. To whomever is in charge. In charge, sure. Not. I realize that IE is boldly going where no mag has gone before, but there is a teeny tiny little gripe or two I have with Volume 3 of the mag. The interview stank like my week-old dead goldfish. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, what I meant to say was that I prefer the interview in the format it was in Volume 2 of Interactive Entertainment. Please, I believe it is a moral imperative that somebody says something about this. Thus, I am saying something. I preferred being able to go about it in a choose-your-own-adventure sort of style, and I really enjoyed the way the question one had already been asked for highlighted in red. It was cooking. Yeah, the interview was not good. There's a number of complicated explanations, but the long and the short of it is we screwed up. We didn't shoot enough video of Roberta to make a good interview interactive out of it. And by the time we realized that we had already committed ourselves to running it, so we had to settle for running what we had in the format we did. It wasn't our choice, and believe me, we have no intentions of moving forward for the format away from interactive. In fact, we are trying to make the interactive interview even better. Look for the hidden button on the interview screen for a tool that will make navigating the interview even easier. There's hidden buttons. Oh, oops. Sorry, that was an error noise. The error noise in my Microsoft Xena theme is a horse. And you can make the computer do the horse noise by pressing the scroll button. Anyways, as far as video quality goes, we were using a different development package than the one we normally use because it allowed us to create the wipes we used in the video. Unfortunately, we found a bug. This undocumented feature caused the video to compress at the wrong frame rate. In this case, at around 1 frame per 8 seconds. And as you may know, this is not the most ideal speed for high-quality digital video. We will recompile and run the Roberta Williams interview again in an upcoming episode, and we will track her down for another interview in a couple of months. The folks at Sierra tell us she's really busy with Phantasmagoria, though, so don't count on seeing her again until after that project, and possibly King's Quest VII as well is complete. All right, here we go. Ready for critique number 2? Gripe number 2? No tough bananas. Please put something in the credits, like pictures or music, so I don't fall asleep reading the names of the ingenious people who are instrumental in putting the amazing piece of electro-literature that is IE into production. Please? If y'all don't, I will hold my breath until I turn blue. By the way, in case you wonder, I made this letter so long and convoluted to ensure that it is too difficult to edit and print in the letters section. So there, take that. That is how upset I am over the interview thing. CB, Monroe, Louisiana. Don't count on it. In the space taken up by even one article, we could probably fit every letter you've ever written in your life. Make them as long and convoluted as you like, unless you specifically ask us not to. We will run your letters, especially when they're as good as this one. As far as credits go, we're working on it. We have to convince the publisher that people actually care who we are first. Then find the time in our busy production schedule to develop the format. Then write the code to run it. Take the pictures, acquire the music. More animation, please? Let me start off by saying that what you are attempting to do with this CD magazine is a very cool alternative to stopping at the bookstore. I was going to say much needed, but maybe it is much needed only to computer geeks like myself. Actually, IE seems to appeal to lots of people who never in 1,000 years pick up a gaming magazine. Go figure. I bet. So I really like this idea. But now for the things that bug me about episode 3. Why don't you just show the game being played full screen? Instead, you film a computer screen running the game and play that. Just show Doom being played like it usually is, or like any other demo would do. 2, show more animation and movement. I don't want to see 1,000 still frames. I really wanted to see how Bioforge would run on my computer, but you guys just showed still frames. My apologies if you couldn't get any animated sequences because the game weren't that far done yet. But I think for most games, you should be able to get your hands on some of the actual games being played and not just do screen captures, fellas and ladies. Heh. These two are related, so I'll tackle them both. Full screen gameplay? We'd love to. A problem is the technology just isn't there yet. Until all games run out of Windows and companies become willing to share their playing engines with us, and we have time to rewrite the code for IE from the ground up every month. Translation, never. We're stuck with running digital video clips, and as you well know, digital video is very much in its infancy. True. As the technology gets better, you can rest assured IE will get better. Once we can afford to buy tens of thousands of dollars worth of video equipment, we'll be able to do better captures and more of them. Right now, we really rely on a lot of the developers to supply us with the motion, and most of them don't have the time to produce stuff for us. And once every video card in the country has an MPEG chip on it, You'll actually be able to see it full screen at your end. 3. One thing that really got on my nerves was when I would click on the game title on the left, the screen would not change until the title picture in the window got done filling up the window. You wouldn't even hear the click of the little button until the picture got done filling up the screen. Annoying. Steve, our director, who handles the technical aspects of the mag, tells me that this is a Windows thing. While Windows is performing a major task, like copying a big file or a bunch of files, for example, it stops checking for input. The button click and jump to another article occurs in response to mouse input. While IE is pulling a screenshot off of your CD drive, uncompressing it, and displaying it, it's not looking for that mouse input. Well, now for the praises of your product. 1, I loved the Siskel and Ebert reviews. Those made the reviews and previews more enjoyable, and I only wish you did that more. 2, I like the idea of clicking on the picture window to get the games as well as the buttons. 3, I like the high color support because I have a Diamond Stealth for my color hand scanner, and it was nice to see a program that handled that. Although the video sequences were very choppy and the voices did not match lips at all, not to relapse into the what sucks section, but just thought I would throw that in. Overall, for a new company or attempt or whatever the heck you guys and gals are doing, you are doing a very nice job indeed. I really enjoyed it. Just get more animated sequences. Okay. I think those complaints are fair. Also, I like that I can make this different font. Yeah! Big font. I'm going to go to the secret interview thing and see if I can't find that tool. That tool. Hidden. Where is it? Where's the tool? Where's the tool? Where's the hidden tool? I can't find the hidden tool. Oh! I found the hidden tool. You can see all the questions here. That's really cool. Let's ask one question we didn't ask. Would you explain the hand out the car window theory of aerodynamics? And an error occurred in the program. Click ignore to save your work in a new file. To quit the program, click close. Okay, I gotta close the program. Okay, so it looks like the secret tool that they added to interactive entertainment makes it not work. So that's cool.
Welcome to episode 4 of Interactive Entertainment. In this episode, IE travels to Chicago for the 1994 Summer Consumer Electronics Show for a look at what's new, what's hot, and what's not. Experience CES coverage like you've never seen or heard it before.
Cool. All right, table of contents. This I've been looking forward to. I want to see the summer CES report. Get ready for some CES 1994 style. Ooh, how many pages do we got? Oh my God, we're going to be here for a while. I am so excited. I can't even tell you. All right, starting with access. Ooh.
Whether you've tracked Tex Murphy through his 2 previous games or not,
okay, I was just seeing if there was any other,
odds are you've already lined up to step into the gumshoes shoes in Under a Killing Moon. This gargantuan interactive movie stars Margot Kidder, Brian Keith, and Russell Means, but you already knew that. What you may not know is that the package has now been upped to 3 discs, and that the gamers lucky enough to own a Pentium will get to experience the first-person viewpoint in full-screen mode. With a slew of real-life actors and Tex Murphy's inimitable self-piteous bungling, Under a Killing Moon is already a hot topic. Now, if we can just get to play what we've been talking about.
I agree. I will eventually play Under a Killing Moon. I want to say that I played that sometime, but I don't know when. Acclaim! Mortal Kombat 2.
The title alone should be enough description for this monster game. The good news is, Mortal Kombat 2 looks and plays impressively like the arcade version on both the Genesis and SNES.
Yes, good-looking
also,
screenshot
unlike its
here.
predecessor, it will come standard with blood on all systems that it's being released for. MK2
Wrong,
was a
it did not
contender
become
for the
standard
title
with
of
blood on
biggest
all
single game
systems.
attraction at the show, requiring a latecomer to be 7 feet tall or push their way through the crowd to even see the game in action. The general mood created by the game is impressive. The anticipation was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Need I say more?
Maximum Carnage.
In this game, you can play as your favorite superhero, Spider-Man, Captain America, Venom, or Carnage. It's entirely up to you. Scheduled to be released on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, Maximum Carnage is also being simultaneously released as an animated television series. Maximum Carnage
No,
features
it wasn't.
all new combat
There was
moves
no
and
Maximum
a killer
Carnage
soundtrack
TV
performed
show.
by Green Jelly. Arachnomania is at its peak, and Maximum Carnage is heading our way.
There was. Okay, I didn't know that. Well, I learned something new every day.
WWF Raw, the most ruthless wrestling game yet, will feature up to 4-player support and offer a host of superstars like Doink, Luna Vacon, and more. This game should have great appeal to wrestling fans.
Thank you, Itinerant Soldier, for the 6-month resub. We're already at 6 months. Yeah, I've been streaming for half a year, and y'all have been sub for half a year. Thank you. All right, let's check the company list. Next up, Accolade. Folks, we're going to see a Bubsy preview. Let's go.
All-Pro Video Football is a coaching simulation that portrays an all-star game with 51 real player names and stats from the NFL. Up to 2 players coach an all-star team. You make the call, then watch your guys do battle according to your plan. Accolade claims to have filmed over 600 actual football plays. If you think you'll be viewing the same play every time, think again. All-Pro Video Football will be released in September for both the IBM PC CD and Mac CD.
Folks, it's time for balls.
This unique 1- or 2-player fighting game uses fighters constructed with balls. This simple method of rendering the fighters allows for a 3D view and ability to move in all directions. Think of it as a low-res version of Virtua Fighter. Balls gives you the option of instant replay of fights and allows you to view
we can't show you the balls.
Angle. At any time, your ball-constructed character can morph into any other character. Balls may sound like a fun kids game, but in reality, it will be fun for all. Balls will be on both the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo and should be available in the immediate future.
Okay, balls in the immediate future. It's time for Brett Hull Hockey. Does Brett have balls?
Brett Hull Hockey 95 is scheduled to be released in October for 3 different systems. The Sega Genesis version will support up to 4 players, Super Nintendo version will support up to 5 players, and the PC version will be 1 to 2 players at once and be up to 26 in season mode. Brett Hull Hockey will feature real NHLPA players, 700 of them to be exact. Accolade gives you the ability to customize team attributes, making them better than real life. Al Michaels does the play-by-play, and you can even create your own all-star team. Brett Hull Hockey 95 has tons to offer on any system. This slapshot should hit home.
All right, folks, time to learn about Bubsy 2. Woohoo!
If you're a fan of Bubsy, you are going to absolutely love Bubsy 2. It's the same furry feline, but with more levels, new wisecracks, and several new items to help along the way. The most important item for Bubsy is a portable hole that allows for travel to any world at any time. The storyline sets you to stop the evil ways of Bacon Gone Bad. Yes, that is Oinker P. Ham. As you already know, cats and water are not birds of a feather. Needless to say, they don't go together. Well, in Bubsy 2, things have changed. Bubsy still hates water, but will brave it, only in his diving suit. Look for this bobcat to be prowling through 30 levels on Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo in October.
I don't know why they gave Bubsy bedroom eyes, but I actually respect it, you know.
Billed as a Zelda-type game, Fireteam Rogue should have enough variety to satisfy every gamer. Science fantasy adventure, hand-to-hand, and flight combat are all combined into one game. Scheduled to be released for Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo in November, Fireteam Rogue literally has worlds to offer.
Okay, time for Hardball 3 and Hardball 4.
Due out any time now for the Super Nintendo is Hardball 3 from Accolade. This version will be very similar to the versions being released for the other systems in that it will feature 700 real players and 28 real stadiums.
700?
Also, for you baseball enthusiasts, you can play a full or shortened season and save by password along the way. As also found in the Sega Genesis version, Hardball 3 will include pitching practice and a home run derby. A baseball game with all the real features should be a hit. Play ball!
Hardball 4?
Hardball 4 for the PC will be 256 color SVGA in 640 by 400 resolution. If you're wondering if that makes a big difference in a sports game, rest assured that it does.
Really?
Hardball
Never
4
released.
looks beautiful and pays great attention to detail. A player's disc is planned for release after the initial game, which should be available in November. Of course, all sports fans know that no sports game is complete without the play-by-play, so Hardball 4 features the voice of legendary sportscaster Al Michaels. New digitized video player graphics, pitching motions, batting swings, and stances combine to make Hardball 4 a home run.
A home run, you say? How about Hardball 94?
Hardball 94 will be available soon for the Sega Genesis. Hardball 94 will offer several features that can make the baseball season even more enjoyable. You can play full, half, or short seasons as well as exhibition games, and battery-backed-up RAM in the cart allows you to save statistics for every player. The league leaderboard displays the top 10 players in each category.
All right, that was page 1. What's page 2? Accolade's got a lot. Ooh, Jack Nicholas, Golden.
For those of you that
Jack
are Nicholas
Nicholas,
Golf Game
the
fans,
Golden.
and for those that aren't, Accolade will be sending Jack Nicholas Golden Bear Edition our way. Golden Bear Edition will run under Windows and include a Course Architect program. A new feature to the Nicholas series is the ability to hit the ball even if your lie is in a different fairway. Stroke and skins play are planned to be incorporated into the Golden Bear Edition. You can print stats at any time from the game. Also mentioned was the possibility of a club selection that allows you to choose from digitized Jack Nicholas clubs. Look for the new Jack Nicholas in November.
I will. And last but not least, with Accolade, it's Zero Tolerance.
Zero Tolerance for the Sega Genesis offers everything you would expect in a Doom-type first-person perspective shooter. The first game of its type for the Sega Genesis, Zero Tolerance lets you fight alien terrorists through 3 different levels. The best way to play Zero Tolerance is in 2-player mode using the AT&T Edge 16 modem. Let's face it, one of the most exciting aspects of this type of game is locating your friend and then letting them have it. Zero Tolerance should make its mark in October.
I do like letting my friends have it. All right, time for Advanced Gravis. Let's go. The Phoenix Fly. Okay, what's this?
Longtime veterans
What
of the
the
PC
hell?
controller market, Advanced Gravis is finally entering the high-end
What
joystick
is that?
market with the Phoenix Flight and Weapons Control System. This system combines a jet-style flight stick with controls for weapons, rudders, and auxiliary systems.
What?
The Phoenix has an impressive total of 24 programmable buttons and comes with pre-configured control settings for most of the popular flight games out there. Customization is made easy by the included software, which features a graphical interface. If it's time for you to go beyond a simple 2-button stick, but you still have to pay the rent, check out the Gravis Phoenix.
Okay. I like this almost creep shot of Gravis. I love that. Not that great. Okay, Atari time. Atari got going on. Checkered Flag. Jaguar CD. Oh yeah.
First it was Checkered Flag 2, then it was Redline Racing, now it's just Checkered Flag. Maybe when a title is decided upon, we'll actually see this one in the stores. No matter what it's called, this game looks like it will have what it takes to be the Jaguar's virtual racing. The polygonal graphics are much prettier than those of any other home system, and the switchable viewpoints and unbridled speed of this racer make it a strong contender for the winner's circle. The one thing I didn't like about this early peek of the game is that even bumping anything slightly brings your car to a total stop and usually pushes it a few feet to the side. To keep the game moving at a good pace, this collision system will need some further work, but the overall outlook is good.
And Double Dragon 5.
With The Shadow Falls, the 5th Double Dragon game, the original Kick and Punch game has undergone a facelift and now emulates the games it spawned. The game now concentrates on one-to-one fighting a la Street Fighter II. The game will feature 12 fighters, each with a home location, 4 levels of difficulty, and 4 turbo modes. Each character will also have 4 to 6 special moves. With some more work, this could turn out to be a pretty entertaining game, but only time will tell if DD5 has what it takes to stand up to its more realistic and more graphic competition.
All right. Yeah. Let's do the Jaguar CD system.
Although still a few months away from release, the Jaguar CD-ROM was seen and heard at the show. The peripheral is a double-speed drive with a 790 megabyte storage capacity.
Yee.
A built-in cartridge slot allows save games, high scores, stats, and other user-definable information.
Thank you,
to be stored
Subside,
on a
for the
data card.
bits.
The player
Welcome.
also plays Cinepack format movies, audio CDs, and CD&G. A built-in program called Virtual Light Machine looks at audio CDs as they are played and creates a spectrum analysis of the sound, which is then translated into a visual light show on your TV. Got all that? The effect is like looking at a kaleidoscope that is keyed to your music. Up to 10 CD games should be available by the end of the year, including Blue Lightning, Battle Morph, Jack Nicklaus Cyber Golf, and Demolition Man.
Trace Bullet, thank you so much for following. Do appreciate that. All right, that was the Jaguar CD system. Looking pretty good. I like this shot because they're like standing on something. Also, you can tell that this is a VHS shot because of the warped curve here. See how the top is all warping that way? This is definitely a VHS screenshot. All right, Kasumi Ninja.
Atari's own Kasumi Ninja has to be one of the most anticipated new carts for the undernourished Jaguar. This is a fighting game par excellence, more
Feed
mortal
that
than
boy.
any combat yet. Each character fights with its own unique style, so even common moves vary between characters. Of course, the card will feature special moves, lightning-fast combos, and gruesome fatalities. Expect lots of blood, too, the kind that sticks to the floor and doesn't disappear after a few seconds. Not to be outdone by the current arcade fighting standards, Kasumi Ninja will have countless hidden features, hidden characters, an ability-sensitive computer opponent, a turbo mode, and will run at a very smooth 30 frames per second. But possibly the best feature of the game is your ability to transform into any fighter whom you've beaten and use their powers. Anyone with a case of Shang Tsung envy should appreciate that.
All right. So far we've only had one game that didn't come out. It was Hardball 3, right? Okay, so we're actually so far not a lot of unreleased stuff, which is pretty good. But I'm curious if there's any more unreleased prototype stuff in here. What's Ultra Vortex?
Ultra Vortex from Beyond Games was available to drool over on the last day of the show. Another kick-and-punch fighter with multiple pints of blood slapped around for good measure. What sets this one apart from others of its ilk is its futuristic setting. 4 of the 10 characters were ready for play, and it was obvious from the selection that variety will be one of the game's selling points. The digitized characters are slick-looking, as are the backgrounds, and some of the special moves are truly bizarre. Like its blood brother Kasumi Ninja, Ultra Vortex will feature a minor lockout which disables the more brutal elements of this game.
All right. There were a lot of fighting games in 1994. I guess that makes sense. With with Street Fighter 2 going wild in the streets. All right, time for Avalon Hill's Fifth Fleet.
Continuing the tradition of transferring its board games to the PC, Avalon Hill is readying Fifth Fleet for a September release. This naval warfare release is for 1 or 2 players and can be played via email. Set in 1999, the game includes planes and ships that we may see in the near future. It'll be hard to question the authenticity of those projections. The game's programming is being done by Stanley Associates of Washington, D.C., a consulting group which has been doing work for the Defense Department for over 20 years and whose staff includes former officers from every branch of the military service.
Oh yeah, this obscure trade we're going through. It's all their 1994 summer CES stuff. So we've only seen like one unreleased game, and that was like Hardball 3, I think. All right, what's Blackbeard?
Hardy, har.
Get ready to practice your impression of a scurvy dog for Blackbeard, which sets you loose in search of plunder as you sail the Spanish Main. You play a pirate who gets to board ships, duel, grab ports, and otherwise act as a menace to society. Yay. In addition to all of this fun-sounding stuff, the game includes a reference manual which covers the history of pirates. Avalon Hill expects that the game will be available for release sometime in October.
And Operation Crusader?
Atomic Games, designers of the V for Victory series, have joined forces with Avalon Hill for Operation Crusader, the first in another series called The World at War. Already available for the Macintosh, the PC version of this game should be available as you are viewing this episode of IE. This World War II game, set in the desert of northern Africa, allows you to command either the British or German sides in the battle for the port of Tobruk. Aspiring generals
this
will work
game
through
is
a
for
series
nerds.
Of historically based scenarios.
That's a nerdy game. Let's go to Stalingrad.
Interested in how the city of Stalingrad looked during World War II? Well, pick up the game of the same name from Avalon Hill, which features a map screen actually designed from German army maps and aerial photographs. That kind of detail is important since the battle for control of Stalingrad was waged largely in the streets of the city. Part of Avalon Hill's World at War series, Stalingrad is set for release in early to mid-October. According to the company, the game scenarios all feature an improved version of the game system from Atomic Games first used in Avalon Hill's Operation Crusader.
And last but not least, I think I already know what this one's like based on the name and the other games. Let's go to the World War II game, Third Reich.
If you're up to it, Avalon Hill is offering you the chance to take on Hitler in the PC adaptation of its board game, Third Reich, expected to reach a store near you by the end of the summer. This game offers 4 scenarios, including the Ultimate Challenge, a campaign game covering the years 1939 to 1946. If the thought of such a complicated task leaves you dizzy, you can go with a 2-player team mode, or you can take on the Germans on your own. The game will offer full play on operational and strategic maps.
Okay, Avalon Hill with a bunch of hex-based World War II games. Next up, Crystal Dynamics. Let's see if we see it starts off with Gex.
Television haters may have found the perfect video game in Gex, a 3DO release from Crystal Dynamics, slated for release in November. Our hero, who looks as though he could star in his own lounge lizard series, is trapped in the media dimension, the place where bad movies and television shows are sent to die. Gex must kill a television to escape each world. In many ways, Gex is the ultimate platform game with a twist.
The ultimate platform game
with 3D models is simply amazing. Not only can Gex climb walls and walk upside down from the undersides of platforms, he can jump up and cling to the backdrop. He can also smack his opponents with his tail and slobber all over them with his long, flexible tongue.
Ew.
With special power-ups, he can also grow wings and fly, make outrageous jumps, and breathe fire. All in all, Gex himself has over 450 frames of animation. The game features the digitized voice of comedian Dana Gould, who has headline specials on both HBO and Showtime. Crystal Dynamics is giving a big push to this game, including a top 10 list of why it's cool to be Gex. My personal favorites were number 4, perfect for the entertainment business, already has forked tongue, and number 2, unlike John Wayne Bobbitt, important gecko body parts grow back.
A John Wayne Bobbitt joke. A Bobbitt joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The idea of someone chopping off Gex's Gex and Gex just wise talking through it like, looks like I'll have to stop at the grocery store for some more salami. Like, I'm sorry. I need to move on before I think any more about this.
Are you the type who has a lot of fun crashing and burning? Keep an eye out for Off-World Interceptor, previously called Orion Off-Road, a drive-and-shoot game for the 3DO currently under development at Crystal Dynamics, in which you drive your 4x4 against a vicious opponent through 6 different worlds. You follow a course along some of the roughest terrain in this neck of the galaxy. Obstacles, such as trees, other vehicles, and gun turrets, will try and stop you. Is this a problem? No way. Just dodge them, blow them up, or jump over them. Drive up the sides of cliffs. Leap fearlessly off huge plateaus. Insane maneuvers are our specialty. The game will feature a CD-quality soundtrack, and the terrain is enhanced by texture map polygon graphics. Judging from the demo version of the game on display at the summer CES, even bad accidents will be loads of fun. Driving off the side of the mountain is almost peaceful, since you can slowly rotate your vehicle as you drop to the ground.
Okay, I think I've moved on. I think I'm doing good. I think I'm okay. Let's look at Samurai Showdown.
The popular arcade fighting game, Samurai Showdown, is making its way to the 3DO, courtesy of Crystal
More like
Dynamics.
Samurai
The company announced
Slowdown.
plans for a December release of the game at the summer CES in Chicago. The game is expected to include all the features of the arcade version, including 12 characters, special moves, 1 or 2 player head-to-head fighting, and a zoom feature that will give kick and punch devotees a clear view of the game's blood-curdling combat.
And Star Control 2. You know, I've heard some folks like this game.
If you hated the aliens in Star Control 2 on PC, you're going to despise them in Crystal Dynamics' 3DO version of the game, which should be in local stores at about the time you're seeing this. The new release will feature the same action-adventure, fighting, exploring, puzzle-solving aspects of the old version, with a few new twists. Those ugly aliens will be able to talk, meaning they'll now disgust you with their voices, as well as their looks.
What if I like the aliens?
Will have 3D images of the ships. The screen will feature continuous zooming during the battle sequences, and there will also be an improved digital soundtrack.
Okay, looks like they've got a good lineup at Crystal Dynamics. Aside from Gex's dick being chopped off. Next up is Domark. Patchy.
Domark has already distinguished itself in the flight simulator department, and most of their featured games fall into this well-trodden category. The most adventurous of these is a 32-bit helicopter sim called Apache. The production team is led by Brian Walker, a former AH-64 Apache pilot and Desert Storm veteran. Apache promises an exceptionally accurate flight experience in one of America's most modern machines of war. It utilizes super VGA graphics and digitized stereo sound recorded in flight. The game is scheduled to be released in October of 1995 on 32X, Saturn, 3DO, Power Mac, and PC CD-ROM platforms.
All right, Dogfight.
Dogfight will be another add-on for FST, which can also play independently. The designers have taken it upon themselves not only to create a good-looking game, but to allow more player control over the details of each plane than any sim has done before. Dogfight will feature a more modular AI, allowing the player to adjust elements like aggressiveness, G-tolerance, and physical strength in the computer opponents. Look for it in late October.
Okay. Lords of Midnight.
Even though the bulk of Domark's releases are flight sims, most of their presentation was taken up with a demonstration of their new fantasy adventure, Lords of Midnight: The Citadel. While we previewed the game last episode, there are now a few more developments to mention. Lords of Midnight has many different characters involved in its story, which the player can choose between. The game progresses in real time, and the player can set the action to continue even after logging off, so that if you don't play for a day, that day also passes in the game world. Also, the landscape is fractally generated so that a lot more ground can be covered. In short, this is just a huge game and will hopefully be available for PC CD-ROM in late 1994.
Okay, that looks interesting. Out of the Sun.
Domark continues their line of flight sims for the Power Mac with the sequel to Flying Nightmares: Out of the Sun. The game features simulations of 4 important aerial battles from World War II. The player can take either the Axis or Allied side and participate in fast-paced dogfights. The missions also include bombing and torpedo runs. Out of the Sun should be in stores by the time this episode of IE is available.
Okay, let's go play Out of the Sun. And last but not least, it's more World War II.
For those who just can't get enough of that war to end all wars, Domark will be releasing the creatively titled World War II, an add-on for Flight Sim Toolkit. As with Out of the Sun, the player can choose to fly for either side. World War II boasts improved AI and the addition of bombers, tailguns, and torpedoes, as well as the option of assigning planes to whatever side you like. Fly a Zero for the Allies? Hey, why not?
Okay, looks like Domark's got a good set of games. Next is Fort. Whoa, everybody, look at this.
Virtual reality is fast becoming one of those useless buzzwords that have more to do with PR hype than anything else. But at the CES, VR was actually being shown. The VR pavilion was filled with companies with headgear in development, but it was Forte that made the biggest impression with gamers.
I like it. I want it. I need some more of it. Thank you. Ooh, GT Good Times Interactive. Let's go. Doom.
Odds are you've gotten the inside scoop.
Do you like this? I like this.
So we'll just throw a few adjectives your way.
Okay.
Bigger, badder, meaner, evil, sick, twisted, depraved, nasty, fallen, and can't get up? When IE talked to John Romero at the GT booth, he revealed a couple of updates about the game everybody's waiting to fear. There's good news and bad news, depending on how you look at it. First, the skeleton that shoots guided missiles at you may not make it into the final rendition. That's the bad news, if you're not a wimp. The good news is that there's a secret level. Rumored to be on the starting level, but don't quote me, a secret elevator will take you to the first level of Wolfenstein.
Ooh.
All of us who wanted to see Wolfie redone with the Doom engine, this is our chance.
Okay. Richard Simmons? Hold on.
When John Romero pulled our ace reporter aside, we knew he wasn't going to kill him off for being a serious threat to his deathmatch title. What he revealed was the most shocking thing we've ever heard since Origin delayed their summer lineup. There has been a new code added to Doom 2. Entering the game, typing ID SPISPOOPDQJFASNFUDRISOD COC and hitting the reset button 6 times in under a second will force the game into using a hidden alternate set of monsters. Although John was contractually bound with id not to reveal any secret monsters' attacks or behavior, he was able to conceal several slides in a roll of toilet paper and leave them for us in the men's room. Although nobody at id would comment about this amazing scoop, we think the pictures speak for themselves. No further proof is necessary. Doom 2 is undeniably the most frightening software the computer entertainment industry has ever seen.
Hey, what the fuck? Let's see the Fabio screensaver.
My bloody has the first name. It's Fabio.
It had to happen sooner or later. Guys can treat themselves to Penthouse Interactive, so why shouldn't women have the Fabio screensaver and wallpaper for Windows? For a mere $30, you can get a whopping 12 color photos of the most intriguing person we've never heard speak. For the male audience, pictures of the Fab can be printed out complete with customizable overlays which include a dartboard, blackened out teeth, and Beavis and Butthead holding a lip match to his hair. Okay, that's a lie. But wouldn't it be cool if it were true?
I love the whoop whoop whoop. And Richard Simmons, what is this?
Also on the horizon from GT Interactive.
Hey, chat,
Richard
do you know if this ever came out?
In this product, the fitness guru acts as your online advisor as you colonize the dinner table, produce and trade valuable
It did come out.
low-calorie
Okay,
recipes,
cool.
fend off hostile enemy invaders from the planet Twinkie, and increase your nutrition level with the ultimate goal of creating a kinder, gentler, fat-free world. Several passers-by, many of whom are IE staffers, were heard to mutter unmentionable remarks.
So, okay. Kind of want to play the Richard Simmons game. Gotta look that up. All right, impressions. What you got for us, impressions? Frontline.
If your head hurt trying to figure out D-Day, the beginning of the end, from Impressions, the company has come up with a solution. It's called Frontlines, a new release that Chris Foster of Impressions called a beer and pretzels turn-based hex map board game. The game is set in the near future, which allowed the designers to project and include technology that isn't available now. You'll use contemporary tactics in Frontlines, which will include play against the computer, another opponent, or modem play, as well as a scenario builder.
Okay. High Seas Trader.
Using a business simulation to run a modern shipping company would be about as exciting as watching paint dry. However, using the same business simulation to play the part of a globe-trotting pirate could be exciting. And that's what Impressions was thinking of when it came up with High Seas Trader. Set in the 17th and 18th centuries, this game lets you sail and trade between 120 ports as you strive against friends and foes for financial control of the high seas. You can attack your opponent's ships, electing to sink them or board them after they surrender and take all of their goods, bringing a new meaning to the phrase hostile takeover.
And Project USA, USA, USA.
It's the challenge that's always faced parents and teachers, tricking children into learning. The easiest way to accomplish that task is to come up with an educational game, which is what Impressions has in Project USA, a follow-up to My First World Atlas designed to teach geography to 8 to 12-year-olds. Project USA has new graphics and a new design. Kids can click and point while learning where states are located and what their capital cities are. While flying across the country, children can drop in and learn a multitude of facts about all 50 states.
Okay, Impressions. You've got some educational stuff for us. Looking good. iMotion. Yo, Alone in the Dark 3, let's go.
iMotion seems to be a strong believer in the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Most of their upcoming products are sequels, but this is not exactly unusual in the industry. In early 1995, we can look forward to more of the continuing adventures of Detective Edward Carnby in Alone in the Dark 3. The Dark series started off as an elaboration on H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos and progressed in Part 2 to ghostly pirate ships and voodoo queens. The third installment is an American Gothic adventure set in a western ghost town. And for those who like listening to sketchy rumors, the plans for Dark 4 revolve around a Civil War storyline, but you can bet it won't be your standard military fare. What's new about Dark 3 that we haven't seen in Dark 2? More control over the perspective, for one thing. While the cinematic angles from the first two games are still prominent, you can also set up a camera to revolve continually around Carnby or play from a first-person Doom-style view. Also, when Carnby dies, he gets a new lease on life and is reincarnated as a wildcat.
I want to be reincarnated as a wildcat. Let's go to Planet Soccer.
iMotion built its reputation off of creepy occult adventure games. So, it was a bit of a surprise to find that their latest release is a straightforward sports game. Planet Soccer should be available as you view this episode of IE. Appropriately enough, the World Cup was also going on in Chicago during CES, and Planet Soccer is based primarily on this tournament. The perspective hovers at field level and travels with the ball. The player controls whichever team member is closest to the ball at any given time. It takes a while to get used to, but the game seems really addictive once you do adjust. You can choose between 30 teams and play the computer, another live
30
opponent, or
teams?
just watch your dream match play itself out.
Last but not least, from iMotion, Prisoner of Ice.
Shadow of the Comet is barely out, and already these guys are releasing a sequel. Well, in fact, Comet was planned from the beginning as one of a series of games based directly on Lovecraft to take the burden off of the dark games. So Prisoner of Ice is not exactly a sequel, but is definitely a companion piece. It seems one of the Elder Gods has been frozen for eons and is discovered by a group of humans. What a find! Unfortunately, the ice is now melting, and the creature won't be a prisoner of ice for much longer. Look for this one at the end of the year.
Okay, Prisoner of Ice of Cthulhu game. Didn't know that. All right, Interplay. Oh my god, I got lost. Let's go with Alone in the Dark, baby.
Alone in the Dark was by far one of Interplay's most popular titles on the PC, and now they've decided to try their luck on the 3DO. In a nutshell, Alone in the Dark is one of those horror/puzzle/adventure/combat games. The setting of the game is the huge haunted mansion called Darsetto. You can use such various weapons as knives, swords, guns, and bow and arrows. Alone in the Dark also happens to be one of the very few games out there that lets you play from either a male or female viewpoint. Look for this game to be one of the best games out for the 3DO.
The 3DO version had horrible load times. That's delightful. All right, Blackthorn.
Blackthorn is Interplay's latest adventure game for the Super Nintendo. This nouveau sci-fi game is extremely reminiscent of Interplay's older hit, Out of This World. The blocky character graphics of Out of This World have been replaced with fluid rotoscoped animation. The storyline is a lot less linear, and the player character now has quite a few more gameplay techniques to master, like hiding in shadows and shooting without looking. For those Out of This World and Flashback fans out there, Blackthorn is a must-have.
All right. Oh my god, folks! We got Booger Man.
Booger Man has got to be one of the most disgusting games I've ever seen. And to tell you the truth, it looks fantastic. Booger Man picks
Booger
and
Man's
flicks
secretly
his nose,
a good, not bad
releases
game.
sonic burps, and last but not least, lets rip some incredibly realistic-sounding flatulations. You increase the power of Booger Man's gastric releases by holding down the activation button. Although Booger Man is a sick and disgusting game, it's got some serious stats to back it up. This huge 16 meg card has over 20 nasty, foul levels to wade through, and the animation is running at a cool 24 frames per second. Beavis and Butthead fans, look out.
I think Beavis and Butthead fans will be playing the Beavis and Butthead game.
Designed for serious bridge players, Interplay plans for
Bridge
Deluxe
all
2
of
to
the
feature
serious
most
bridge
advanced artificial
gamers, get
intelligence
in.
of any bridge game on the market. Internationally renowned bridge masters, including Omar Sharif, who appears in video footage when playing as partner or tutor,
Sepicide, thanks for
have
showing up.
contributed to the development of the game's tutorial. Bridge Deluxe 2 will be released simultaneously on CD and floppy in the third quarter of 1994.
CD and floppy. All right, next is Clay Fighter.
Clay Fighter for the Genesis is on its way.
Wow, look at blue
the now
suede
classic
goo.
game from Interplay has finally found its way onto the Genesis. Virtually an exact copy of the Super Nintendo game with maybe a little less graphic intensity and a little more playability. For those of you not familiar with Clay Fighter, just imagine Street Fighter II with Silly Putty. Clay Fighter for the Genesis is definitely a fighting game to look for.
It is definitely a fighting game, and you could look for it in the garbage.
Clay Fighter 2, or C2 Judgment Clay as it's being called, is sure to raise a few eyebrows. The follow-up to one of the most popular fighting games on the Super Nintendo is sporting quite a few upgrades. C2 is a whopping 24 meg cart with 9 new characters to fight with the Blob and Mr. Frosty making a second appearance, though the final number may be different, and I'm told there will be quite a few hidden characters. The graphics have been totally redone, and as you can see, there's quite an improvement with quite a few more animations. C2 has what it takes to be another hit for Interplay. All we have to do is wait.
Okay, let's play Clay Fighter 2. Let's go Siberia.
Without question, Interplay's big news at the CES show was Siberia. Set in 2027 following an economic collapse, the world is essentially controlled by two factions, big business and big crime. In Siberia, you control Zack, a cyber spy jailed after being caught ripping off the Interbank. As Zack, You must race to recover a doomsday device hidden in a secret research facility beneath the frozen wastelands of northern Asia. Siberia has been designed from the ground up to be as movie-like as possible. Like a movie, different scenes in the game have different feels and so offer different types of gameplay. For example, there are action sequences involving shooting down enemy fighter craft, as well as alone-in-the-dark style adventure scenes. All of the graphics for Siberia have been rendered on SGIs using Wavefront. It is scheduled for release.
Thank you, Kevsky. Thank you, Kevsky, so much for the 6-month sub, half a year. Thank you so very much. All right, that was Siberia. Time for Descent, a game I really loved but would always make me dizzy.
After LucasArts' Dark Forces, this was probably the most interesting first-person shooter announced at the show. In it, you pilot a vehicle which can not only pivot 360 degrees around a fixed axis, it can pitch, yaw, and roll at will as well. That's correct. Descent may well be the first true free-scrolling 3D environment, allowing you to turn and move in absolutely any direction. You pilot a vehicle sent to scour the mines of Pluto of a vile alien infestation. Your mission? Stop them before they reach Earth. Descent will have support for 5-person network play, 30 levels of mines to explore, and intelligent, morphing aliens that learn from their encounters with you and adapt. Descent is scheduled for release in the 4th quarter of 1994.
Dungeon Master 2.
Unlike Chaos Strikes Back, which the designers describe as an expansion or add-on, Dungeon Master 2 is a true sequel to the classic role-playing game that was a pioneer in mouse-driven interfaces. Dungeon Master 2 Skullkeep will feature the same entertaining gameplay as the original, but will add 256-color VGA graphics, new intelligent monsters, more weapons, and above-ground outdoor areas to explore. DM2 is scheduled for an October or November release.
All right. Kingdom, The Far Reaches. If I recall, this is, what was that game called? Not... Okay, chat, I can only think of the name Thaddeus. It is not based on a game called Thaddeus. What is the game that Kingdom, The Far Reaches is based on?
Featuring a classic fantasy storyline, Kingdom is an animated fantasy adventure for the PC, CD, and 3DO. In it, you control the last of the Argent Kings as he searches to recover the 5 pieces of a lost amulet and cleanse the land of 5 kingdoms of the dark
Quest,
magic that
thank
infested
you.
it.
Not
Kingdom
Thaddeus's
will be
Quest.
available in the 4th quarter of 1994.
Sorry for calling you Thaddeus, Thayer. Time for Lord
One
of
of the
Rings.
most popular trilogies of all time.
I wanted to
is
play
now
this game
coming to
so
a Super
bad as a
Nintendo
kid.
near you. Lord of the Rings by Interplay has been on almost every system available. This particular release will include real-time party-based combat. Your party will pick up and drop non-player characters as the story unfolds. J.R.R. Tolkien fans should take notice. Lord of the Rings looks like a great role-playing game.
I heard that game sucked ass. I still want to play it, though. Out of This World.
The surprise hit of years past, Out of This World for the 3DO, is being shown at the Interplay booth. In case you've been living in a cave for the past 10 years, in Out of This World you play Lester Knight Shaken, a scientist that has accidentally been blasted to another world by an experiment gone awry. You must solve puzzles and kill lots of monsters to get back home. The simple but extremely realistic rotoscoped polygon animations broke new ground when it was originally released for the IBM PC. Coupled with its smooth gameplay and superb storyline, Out of This World should appeal to anyone who owns a 3DO.
And Rock and Roll Racing.
Rock and Roll Racing is another original Super Nintendo game being ported to the Genesis. This super off-road clone has more than 37 tracks and finally some real tunes like Bad to the Bone and Born to be Wild. Rock and Roll Racing also allows 2-player simultaneous play so you can race your friends. Expect to see the same gameplay and challenges that were in the Super Nintendo release several months ago.
And Simant CD.
As with SimCity Enhanced CD-ROM,
I like
released
that
earlier this year,
ant.
Interplay has obtained the rights to create enhanced CD versions of Maxis's popular SimAnt and SimEarth. Gameplay is essentially the same as the originals. In SimAnt, you control an ant colony, while in SimEarth you direct the biosphere of an entire planet. These new versions will offer rendered and live-action video cutscenes. SimAnt also
I could
features an
never get
upgrade
into
to
SimEarth,
256
but I got
Super
really
VGA
into
graphics and
SimAnt.
introduces SimAntha, who will guide you through the basics of running an ant colony. SimEarth will allow you to walk on your planet in a first-person perspective view for the first time. SimAnt is scheduled for release around Christmas time. No release date was given for SimEarth, but it is anticipated to be available early in '95.
Star Trek Starfleet, huh?
For the Star Trek
Oh
fan
my
in
God,
August,
look at
Interplay
him.
will be releasing Star Trek Starfleet Academy, the
Oops.
Bridge Simulator. This virtual Star Trek
I
simulator
wrecked
will
it
allow
by
you to
kissing
control
him.
one of 3 ships in more than 30 missions. Most of the battle will be concentrated from the bridge. It even has the Gettysburg of all Star Trek battles, the Kobayashi Maru scenario.
And Star Reach.
Interplay is hoping that this real-time, hybrid strategy action game will enjoy the appeal of recent hits such as Star Control 2 and Dark Legions. In it, you must balance your resources as well as fight over control of the planets which supply them. Star Reach is intended to be a quick game with scenarios playable in a few hours. It allows up to 4 players to choose from up to 7 different alien races. If you hate arcade-style combat, you can disable that element of the game and simply control the strategic end of things. A network version is planned, but it's not clear at this time whether network support will be available when the game initially ships this summer. Star Reach will include several scenarios, but rumor has it that the designers plan to release a scenario editor as freeware over the net sometime after the game is released.
What else you got for me? Ooh, Stonekeep. Voyeur. Okay, let's go.
Interplay assures us that this long-anticipated
Holy
fantasy
shit, look at
role-playing
him.
game is nearing completion.
Look at him.
Stonekeep is an epic fantasy adventure featuring fully rendered backgrounds combined with digitized video. In order to achieve a cinematic feel, Interplay has brought in several Hollywood consultants to assist with the filming and special effects. Look for it on CD-ROM only by the end of the year.
Folks, it's time for Voyeur.
If you're looking for an unusual twist in gameplay, Voyeur may well be it. Interplay is bringing this political thriller to PC CD-ROM from the Philips CDI. In it, you must use a video camera to capture scenes through the window of a presidential candidate. Correctly choosing what to save, and what to leave on the cutting room floor, will impact the leadership of this country for the next 4 years. Keep an eye out for Voyeur PC CD in the fourth quarter of 1994.
All right, we got Voyeur on PC. Okay, that was Interplay. Time for JVC. It's Dungeon Master 2.
Dungeon Master 2 Skullkeep for the Sega CD is described as accessible for beginning to experienced RPGers alike. You're given the task of finding the 4 keys to the Skullkeep, for whoever finds the keys can either destroy or save the world. JVC claims that Skullkeep is the most extensive RPG for the Sega CD to date. This may or may not
Sega
be saying
CD.
much, since there are currently very few RPGs for the Sega CD. Although Skullkeep does feature an entire fantasy universe, the future will tell just how powerful this CD will be.
Fatal Fury Special.
JVC has announced that it will be bringing the Monster SNK hit Fatal Fury Special to the Sega CD during the last quarter of '94. The Sega CD version will include every aspect of the Neo Geo version, plus the addition of new never-before-seen combos and death moves. Also, look for your old pal Geese Howard to be resurrected. Fatal Fury Special should fill a much-needed void for good fighting games in the Sega CD library. You can choose not only the regulars from Fatal Fury 2, but the bosses as well, for a total of 15 fighters in all. With each character having 6 different special moves, there should be enough variety for everyone.
Okay. What about Ghoul Patrol?
Ghoul Patrol is a solo or cooperative ghost-busting arcade game that allows you to fight ghosts from all ranges of history. JVC has
Chat, what
high
do you think
hopes
of
to
Ghoul
pay
Patrol?
Ghoul Patrol its due with a timely release in the Halloween time frame. This game looks to be chock full of spooky seasonings, including a cemetery crawling with the undead, shark-infested waters, and zombified samurai. Even though the thought of another ghost-busting game
Absolutely
is scary
impossible
enough,
game.
many
Okay.
people will likely enjoy it for the cool weapons, from homing plasma rifles to suction cup arrows. As previously mentioned, don't waste your time hunting this one down until Halloween. But in the meantime, boo!
Ugh. We got scared. I got spooked. All right, time for Indiana Jones
JVC
Greatest.
has announced that it will release an Indy Jones trilogy containing Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. Indiana Jones's Greatest Adventures ties all 3 movie storylines together in a game that was developed by LucasArts specifically for the Super Nintendo. Featured in Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures are the famous minecart ride, settings such as the Well of Souls and the Chachapoyan Temple, and familiar foes like Colonel Vogel and Renee Belloc. For all our gaming fantasies, Indy's famous whip will be available throughout the journey. Indy's new quest will begin in the last quarter of this year.
For all our gaming fantasies, huh? Samurai Showdown.
Samurai Showdown is yet another SNK fighting game being ported to the Sega CD system. This arcade smash features 12 different fighters
Give
to
the
choose
Sega
from,
CD more
each
game.
with their own unique fighting style and lethal weaponry. Samurai Showdown will be a 1 or 2 player fighting game and should be available around the end of the year.
And, pardon me, more Rebel Assault.
Rebel Assault is yet another Star Wars title coming to the Sega CD. Being that Rebel Assault is a Star Wars title will be enough reason for its predestined popularity. This time, to no one's surprise, you must destroy Darth Vader and the Empire in this action flight simulator game. Pilot 4 different Star Wars vehicles through 15 levels of action. Rebel Assault will include digitized cinematic displays from the trilogy and additional footage created exclusively for this game. Star Wars Rebel Assault should be available by the time you view this episode of IE.
Okay, Return of the Jedi.
This 16 meg cart for the Super Nintendo features a storyline based on the final chapter in the Star Wars saga. You can play as 5 different characters and can encounter dark side villains from Jabba the Hutt to Darth Vader. Super Return of the Jedi looks as though it will be a popular game upon release. Look for this one-player game in the later part of this year.
And Time Cop.
Taken from the Van Damme movie, Time Cop should blast its way into homes everywhere at the end of this year. This one-player action-adventure game will be available for the Sega CD and Super Nintendo, and will be based on the Dark Horse comic book series. You have 8 levels of hell to survive to complete each mission. New digitizing techniques give this game sharp graphics that everyone will appreciate.
Very cool. And last but not least, World Championship Rally.
Scheduled for release in the last quarter of this year, World Championship Rally will be racing its way into homes equipped with a Sega CD or Super Nintendo. The Sega CD version will feature digitized video footage from top rally routes, including 35 stages from the British Rally. The SNES version will feature 5 different tracks to tackle. Other details include varying weather conditions and car damage that must be repaired on the fly. This game should be popular at gatherings because it supports up to 4 players. Get ready, because it won't be long before you'll need to start your engines.
All right, let's do some gatherings and get people to play these games. All right, Koei, what you got? Aerobiz Supersonic, let's go.
If you think the airline wars are bad now, what's going to happen in 20 years? In Aerobiz Supersonic, the player is a hot new CEO out to change the face of the business map at the start of the 21st century. The game is not limited to the futuristic scenario, though. There's
I'm
a
sorry
choice of 4
Twitch yelled
eras
at
in
you for calling
aviation
Time
history.
Cop a piece
Also,
of shit.
true to the nature of the business world, the player can diversify his interests through ventures like golf courses and ski resorts. Aerobiz Supersonic will be available for SNES in September and for Genesis in early December. Happy landings!
Celtic Tales, did this come out? I haven't heard of this one.
Celtic Tales, The Valor of the Evil Eye, is a role-playing adventure for the PC which promises, if nothing else, to be different.
Okay.
The early Celtic tribes of Ireland have seldom been used as the basis for a computer game before now. The player chooses between 8 gods and demigods from Celtic mythology and must use his power and influence to save the people of Ire from their otherworld enemies, the Fomors, led by Balor. The adventure begins in September.
Okay, this came out. It looks interesting. Liberty or Death, this one I've heard
Liberty or
of.
Death is a strategy game based on the American Revolution. It's surprising that this idea hasn't been used more often, since this was a terribly romantic and idealistic period in our history. Of course, if the player prefers to think that
Nothing
the
more
colonists
romantic
should never
than
have
the
rebelled
Revolutionary
against
War.
their king, he can play the British side instead. The player has to raise the funds needed to back up his generals, supply his troops, build forts, and forge new weapons. This is all occasionally punctuated by nice bits of rhetoric like the Patrick Henry quote the game took its title from. Liberty or Death was released for SNES in April, and the Genesis version will be out in August.
Okay, Operation Europe.
Because there's never any shortage of people
yeah.
who want to fight World War II all over again, Koei has released Operation Europe. The player can control either Axis or Allied forces in this strategy game. There are 6 historical battles to choose from, and the commanding officers are chosen from actual historical figures such as Patton and Rommel. The Sega version was released in June, and the Nintendo version in July.
Okay. We've got also Nobunaga's Ambition.
If you're already familiar with that fun-loving 16th century Japanese warlord, Nobunaga, and his ambition,
Don't say it like that,
he's
lady.
back to try and take over Japan again in Lord of Darkness. Once again, the player can choose to try and hold him at bay, or take an equal part in the happy carnage. Lord of Darkness is, surprise, surprise, a military strategy game, and there's lots of Japanese tradition thrown in on top of that. You can expect Nobunaga to rear his ugly head in October for the SNES.
Okay, I will. All right, let's go to Stop That Roach.
It's hard to picture a title summing up a game better than Stop That Roach. Really, what more needs to be said? There are roaches in the kitchen, and you would prefer there not be, so you attack them with whatever household implement is closest. Finally, a game about real life. No, this is not a major strategy title, it's just some silliness for the Game Boy, and you can expect it in late August.
Okay, and Uncharted Waters.
Nowadays, the career opportunities for someone who wants to be a global explorer are somewhat limited, but they can soon pick up a copy of New Horizons, the game for all those would-be Ponce de Leons. There are 6 characters to choose from and over 130 places to visit. Get spices from the natives, fight pirates, discover new continents, stuff like that. The SNES version will be available in mid-October and the Genesis version in early November.
Okay. Oh, he's got a pretty good lineup. Legend, huh? Legend got for me. Look at this. Chat. Okay.
In this science fiction strategy adventure game, you are supplied with an intricately rendered spaceship to roam around in. With a game that looks so well thought and planned, graphically speaking of course, the only uncertainty I have is how the game will play. The future should be able to answer that question for all of us. Legend President Bob Bates boasts Mission Critical is more than the average adventure game. And visually, this game is a sight for sore eyes. For those who wish to find out how big Mission Critical will be, start looking for it around the end of the year. The storyline places you as the lone survivor of a deep space battle aboard the USS Lexington, your horribly damaged heavy cruiser. With virtually nothing functional on the ship, you must repair and fix the Lexington and return it to some sort of fighting ability as more enemy ships are headed in your direction. The overall mission for you and the USS Lexington is to investigate the unexplored alien world. If all goes well, you can save the universe from 15 years of interplanetary war. Mission Critical features a virtual world with smooth-scrolling 3D environments and is rendered in 640 by 480 Super VGA graphics. Also featured are full-motion video and detailed battle sequences. Mission Critical will be available for the PC CD-ROM.
And Deathgate, which is an amazing name.
Based on the best-selling novel series by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, Legends Deathgate has the look of a winner. This graphic fantasy adventure will initially be available on CD.
This is the look of a winner.
A floppy version may follow, but isn't certain at this point. Using the Companions of Xanth interface and Super VGA graphics, the game's 640 by 480 resolution makes it stand apart from other role-playing adventure lines of games. According to Deathgate's plot, Spartan broke the world seal and the planet itself into 5 realms. Now from the labyrinth, you must seek revenge on Spartan. During this quest, you must gather and reconstruct the 5 pieces of the world seal that lie on the other side of Deathgate.
I want to play Deathgate. Chat, make me play Deathgate. I really want to play that. That looks good. All right, what else we got? We got LucasArts. The Dig.
There was a great deal of new and exciting information about The Dig at the show. The big news was that LucasArts' sister company, Industrial Light and Magic, best known for its award-winning movie and television special effects, will be creating the special effects for The Dig. This is the first time ILM has ever contributed computer-generated effects specifically to an interactive game. Based on an unproduced script given to Steven Spielberg for the Amazing Stories television series, The Dig centers around a team of astronauts sent out to rendezvous with an asteroid which is on a collision course with the Earth. After detonating 2 nuclear devices to deflect the asteroid from its fatal trajectory, the team lands on its surface only to have the asteroid transform into an alien starship which transports them light years from Earth. The player gets to control Boston Lowe, the team's leader, as he tries to keep the team working together to decipher the alien technology which will return them to Earth. A release date for The Dig has not been specified. Current rumor has it that the game is being pushed back again in order to replace the animated characters with video footage of live actors, but this has not yet been confirmed by LucasArts.
Okay, let's go to Dark Forces.
Without question, the crowd pleaser at the LucasArts booth was Dark Forces. Like many other companies at the show, LucasArts has clearly acknowledged the popularity of Doom and concocted a first-person perspective, free-scrolling shooter of their own. Unlike many companies at the show, however, Dark Forces isn't just a cheap knockoff. It's an excellent game in its own right, and one which stands out from the hordes of Doom clones shortly to be unleashed. Dark Forces uses a proprietary engine developed by LucasArts. It's fast and smooth, and the texture maps are amazing.
They are. They look good.
You move freely throughout the various settings for the game, blasting stormtroopers and other Imperials, seeking the objective of whatever mission you're on. In addition to 360-degree free-scrolling movement, you can look up and down, jump, and duck. In terms of sheer fun, Dark Forces seems to be the kind of game you'll find yourself having to be dragged away from kicking and screaming even in its early stages. Slap a power cell into your trusty blaster and prepare to take aim at the dark side in time for Christmas.
All right, what about Full Throttle?
The most traditional product in LucasArts' new lineup is Full Throttle, but don't let that fool you into thinking it's not worth a second look. True, it's a side-view, third-person perspective graphic adventure like Sam & Max and Day of the Tentacle. It's also true that there are puzzles involving finding the right object to use in the right place, much as you will find in any other adventure game. But there, the similarity ends. It's a dark and dangerous future. The government has collapsed, leaving justice to be meted out by those strong enough to enforce their will.
Now this is a
Rival
game I should
biker
play on
gangs
stream.
prowl the highways. Malcolm
I've
Corley,
never
the
played
owner
this
of
before.
Corley
I've done
Motors,
Day
the
of the
last
Tentacle, but not this.
manufacturer of the motorcycles that sustain these gangs' way of life has been murdered. You control Ben Throttle, who's been framed for the crime. The object of Full Throttle is to keep Ben out of the hands of the police long enough to gather the evidence he needs to prove his innocence. Full Throttle will be the most cinematic adventure game LucasArts has yet attempted. It will feature numerous varying camera angles and full digitized speech. The CD-ROM only release is currently scheduled for the end of '94/beginning of '95.
Star Wars screensaver, folks.
Don't call it a screensaver because LucasArts' first entry into the productivity software market offers a great deal more than a screensaver. In addition to modules which depict scenes and characters from the original film, several models offer a behind-the-scenes peek at the creation of Star Wars with storyboards, pre-production sketches, and the complete screenplay of the movie. In addition to this wealth of information about the film, several of the action-oriented modules are among the best screensaver concepts since Opus and Bill. Popular favorites include a lightsaber duel between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, the Death Star trench battle, and hordes of Jawas and Tusken Raiders shuffling across the screen, stealing and blowing up screen elements such as icons and program groups. Star Wars Screen Entertainment is compatible
look at them.
with
They've
Software's After Dark series of screensavers. It should be available for Windows and Mac by the time you view this episode of IE.
And last but not least, a little game called a TIE Fighter.
There is a Doonesbury screensaver, yes. At the show and should be shipping before
really
this episode of IE. In it, you fly for the Empire for the first time ever in a Star Wars game. Like its predecessor X-Wing, you fly a series of missions linked together with storyline elements. However, TIE Fighter is less linear than X-Wing, and numerous enhancements have been added to the gameplay, such as the ability to rearm your craft during the course of a single mission.
Okay. And as for the Doonesbury, I showed off the Doonesbury screensaver a while back. It didn't work so well, but it was in my Doonesbury showcase. All right, Maxis. I figured how many more do I have? Oh, my word. I'm going to try to get through as many of these as we can, but I have about an hour's worth of videos, so I'll be looking at this for about a half hour more or so, and then I'll be switching to VHS tapes. But we will be going back to this eventually, like later this month as well, because I do want to go through all of these. Do Maxis. Folks, it's Click and Play.
Click and Play is a game creation toolkit from the people who brought you the classic sim products. In minutes, you can design your own computer games, whether they be arcade, strategy, educational, logic puzzles, or whatever you like. No programming skill required. Click and Play should be available for Windows this fall.
Gift Maker.
Gift Maker is not a game, but is really an electronic order form for a
Celebrate.
personalizing store. You can design coffee mugs, t-shirts, or whatever using the application and then send the template off to artistic greetings to be made. They'll even gift wrap it for you. Look for Gift Maker this fall.
Gift Maker looks sick.
Sim Tower is like Sim City, but it's all one building. The player constructs a towering skyscraper and tries to maintain it as a balanced and profitable piece of commercial real estate by leasing out space inside for apartments, offices, restaurants, and shops. While the first three letters of this product generally guarantee high sales, Maxis has also managed to keep a high level of quality in production and gameplay within the Sim family. This newest sibling will be available for Macintosh in the fourth quarter of '94, with a Windows version to follow soon after.
Okay, and SimTown.
Maxis will soon be opening the doors of its Sim games to a younger audience. SimTown lets kids aged 8 to 12 build and manage a small town
like the
and
Adobe
influence
house.
the lives of the people who live there. This game will even allow simulations on an individual level. Yes, you can make your own Sim citizen all the way down to your favorite foods. Why should adults have all the fun?
Agreed.
SimTown will live up to the extremely high standards set up by its more grown-up predecessors. It will be available for the Macintosh CD-ROM this fall and the PC CD-ROM in the winter.
All right. And what about the Widget Workshop?
While Widget Workshop doesn't mention cartoonist Rube Goldberg by name, the product was almost certainly inspired by his work. Kids aged 8 and up can build their own inventions with hundreds of joinable objects. The resulting widgets have one advantage over Goldberg's creations.
Is this
They
just
are
the Incredible
scientifically
Machine?
accurate. Widget Workshop also includes a game where the player has to figure out what a pre-built invention does. There are even some real-life widgets in the game box to play with, like a wooden top, a thermometer, a compass, and more. The Mac version of Widget Workshop will be available this fall, and the DOS and Windows versions in the first quarter of 1995.
Right, and that's what Maxis has got for CES 1994. Good stuff. MediaVision. Where do I know them from? Okay. I know the Daedalus encounter. Okay, let's go to Coolsville.
So, sweetheart, are you really a hep cat or just some joker from out of town trying to act like you belong?
I'm
It's
the
better to
Joker,
be with it in
baby.
Coolsville, where Duck Ellington, Melodious Monk, and a cab named Calloway are all worried because someone is out to destroy their town. In this CD-ROM release from MediaVision, your task is to find a missing guru and keep Coolsville from going square. As you conduct, pun intended, your search, you will put together a band that'll blow the house down in the big gig at the end of the game. There's some great jazz being played here, so hang loose and be cool. Dig it?
Should I play? Okay, chat. Coolsville genuinely sounds like something. As a jazz freak, I think I might like Coolsville, but I don't know. I've never heard of it before.
Some days are worse than others. For instance, it's a really bad day when you lose consciousness in a dogfight and wake up to discover that all that's left of you is your brain, which is hooked up to a box in an alien spaceship, which is on a collision course with the sun. That's the premise of the Daedalus Encounter, a 2-CD game from MediaVision due out in the fall. Of course, you don't feel quite as bad when you notice that one of the aliens in your new home is Tia Carrere, who played the babe in both Wayne's World movies and will be featured in Arnold Schwarzenegger's upcoming film, True Lies. This interactive game allows you to explore your alien spaceship, battle against other aliens, and solve puzzles.
And Hodge and Podge.
At first glance, you'll think Hodge and Podge, a new CD-ROM title due from MediaVision this fall, is for your kids. But be forewarned. Any game that rewards you with the hands, hearts, and other body parts of fair princesses isn't just for children. Hodge and Podge was put together by Steve Mertzke, a designer with a reputation for a sense of humor. Your search for the fair princesses Mission Mosh takes you through 20 different games in the kingdom of Potpourri. With a wide variety of options available, it's doubtful that either you or your kids will get bored playing this game.
Garfunkel. Sorry, Garfunkel was an option there at the top of the screen. I know about that.
Looking for a sure way to come up with an
Coolsville
interactive
wasn't
adventure
released?
game that has
No.
different endings? Try putting your confused hero into a situation where he slips in and out of 3 different realities, and make sure he's never quite certain what's real and what isn't. That's what MediaVision has done in Quantum Gate 2, a CD-ROM sequel that features 5 hours of video versus the 2 hours on the original Quantum Gate. The designers also tried to make the sequel more game-oriented, which is probably not a bad idea in light of the fact that the character you play doesn't know for certain who or where he is.
I can't believe Coolsville didn't come out. No, my jazz. My jazz! My jazz. All right, Merritt. Hey, what do you think of... Okay. Chad, tell me about Cyber Judas.
Shadow President was highly acclaimed as a groundbreaking political simulation. In Cyber Judas, DC True, the creators of Shadow President, are back with a vengeance. This time, not only are you responsible for managing the most powerful country in the world, there's a twist. One of your 6 advisors is a traitor and will attempt to undermine your best efforts towards peace and prosperity. All the graphics in Cyber Judas have been rendered in SGIs using Wavefront. However, the high standard of strategy gameplay established by Shadow President is not being overlooked. You are responsible for maintaining relations with 168 countries around the world, and the political climate is randomly generated each time you start a new game. So just because Uganda was your friend the last time you played doesn't mean it will be so this time. While you juggle the myriad responsibilities of the presidency, you've got to ferret out which one of your cabinet is the Cyber Judas. Worse, once you find one traitor, another will appear. This one even harder to identify. Cyber Judas is scheduled for release this fall only on CD-ROM.
So it looks like Cyber Judas did come out. So I'm gonna edit my I have a little file here where I write down what my upcoming streams are. Let me delete Coolsville since Coolsville didn't come out because they hate me. They hate Alex and his love of jazz, and they're like, no, you can't have a jazz themed game. F you. And I'm like, no, but Cyber Judas looks interesting. Let's say, oh, I'll write that. I'll note. I'll make a note of that for later. Let's check out Fighter Wing.
Designed by Gemsoft, whose ranks include developers of such diverse products as Amtex's Pinball Engine to Gold Disc's Astound, this fast jet fighting game is intended to be more arcade action than hardcore flight sim, but don't look on that as a drawback. The action is kept simple to make the game accessible to those gamers who may not be die-hard air war fans. Not because the engine doesn't have the capacity to be a true flight sim. The engine, designed in Russia, supports a fast frame rate and on a powerful machine can run at a screen resolution up to 800 by 600 in 256 colors. The engine is also scheduled to be used in a product with the working title of Maelstrom Flight Campaigns, a story-driven first-person space combat game set in the Maelstrom universe scheduled for late autumn release. Among the other features that make Fighter Wing attractive to non-jet jocks is network support. The company claims the final product, due to be shipped at the end of September, will support up to 16. That's right, I said 16 players head-to-head over a LAN. Additionally, the CD version of the game will offer digitized video sequences from the Discovery Channel's popular television program Firepower.
All right, Fortress of Dr. Radiaki.
In case you have missed the previous IE coverage of this intriguing first-person shoot-'em-up, here's a recap. Dr. Radiaki, a mad scientist straight out of the worst B movies, has sequestered himself on his island fortress in the Pacific. He's blackmailing the world with the threat of nuclear destruction unless he's given $1 billion. As UN Special Agent Mac Banner, you are launched onto the island via torpedo tube. Your mission, defeat the hordes of mutant monsters guarding his base and stop him. What sets Radiaki apart from other games of this nature are its whimsical tone and the beauty of its graphics. All of the monsters on Radiaki's island, ranging from crazed samurai to mutant alligators to robots built from whatever spare parts are lying around, have been rendered from a variety of angles using 3D Studio. What this means is that they look solid and three-dimensional. When you walk around behind a monster, you see its back, until it turns its face to you.
Can I see the butt?
The Fortress of Dr. Radiaki is being designed by Maelstrom Software, which includes several developers who have worked on the original Privateer from Origin. Dr. Radiaki is scheduled for release in August, with a CD version to follow a month later. Also worth noting is that Merit plans to release another game using the Radiaki
is
engine
unplayable.
Enclave in early
and
1995.
None of these screenshots are real. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Not Gnome. Not Gnome, but Genome.
In their booth, Merit was running a demo labeled merely Genome, coming in 1995. Since the show, we've managed to dig up a few details on this hot-looking game. It is intended to be a CD-based interactive movie, which features puzzles, character interaction, and both personal and vehicle-based action. Set 2,000 years in the future,
this also
the
looks
story
very
revolves
fake.
around the efforts of Joshua Pullen, the sheriff of a group of planets on the galaxy's outer rim, to uncover the secrets of a mysterious creature, the Genome, which is killing people on the frontier planet of Ruellen. While details are still sketchy, word is that Genome will feature texture-mapped polygon creatures and vehicles with 3D Studio rendered backdrops, as well as MPEG video of live actors playing the roles of the characters in the game.
Okay. And yeah, chat mentioned the Harvester has been mentioned up a lot.
As this controversial game nears
completion,
two things become
I've never played this
As
game. I've never
promised,
seen a
no
playthrough.
compromises have
I
been
don't know
made in
why
the
I'm
game's
asking about the
content,
big
and the
butthole.
gameplay is
It
starting
must
to
be
look
explained
sharp.
in game.
The semi-playable version, Future Vision, displayed at the CES showed the main characters walking around animation working, as was some of the fighting animation. The game was running in a crisp-looking 640 by 480 by 256 colors. The latest technological surprise is that Harvester will feature full 16-bit stereo sound, with the game engine converting the audio to 8-bit on the fly for those who don't have a 16-bit sound card. One final development. Plans are in the works for another game using the Harvester engine, this time with a cyberpunk theme, also to be written by Gilbert Austin. The new game, which is yet untitled, is tentatively slated for release in January of 1995.
I wonder if that's that cyber game based on Harvester ever came out.
Created by the
Psychotron.
Multimedia Store,
This is a
Psychotron
classic.
is an espionage thriller with a strong plot featuring full-motion video for Windows. Set in the present day, the story revolves around the U.S. purchasing the fruits of Russian parapsychological research the Psychotron. When the plane transporting the Psychotron to the U.S. crash lands in Virginia, you are called in to investigate. To solve the mysteries revolving around the crash, you must search through the offices of the CIA agents who died aboard the plane. This offers clues, as well as red herrings, which lead you to people you can interrogate.
I'm pretty sure I've shown this
Interviewing
off
the many
on
characters
stream.
in the game is
On, like,
accomplished using a
RetroPal stream.
point-and-click interface, with the subject's replies in the form of short video clips. The final interesting point about the Psychotron is that it is multiplayer. 1, 2, or 4 players can participate in the game, taking turns questioning subjects and pursuing clues. The Psychotron is scheduled for July release, and so should be available around the same time as this episode of IE.
All right, folks, let's go play Psychotron. All right, that was Vision. That was Merit. Okay, after Merit is Micro League. Oh man, we got Soccer Kid.
Based on the original board game, Micro League also had Blood Bowl at the
Blood
Chicago
Bowl.
CES. Set in the 25th century, the game's premise is that future civilizations have forgotten our current society, until the discovery of an old football stadium leads to a futuristic version of football. Creatures and humans bring a violent twist to an already violent game in this sports simulation, which includes league and season play, along with head-to-head modem play.
And Saber Team.
Forget about mollycoddling terrorists. In Micro
I
League's
would
Saber
never
Team, you're in
mollycoddle a
charge of a
terrorist,
special
thank
unit
you.
of the British Army, whose mission it is to rescue 4 hostages who are being held at the American Embassy. Once you save the Americans and eliminate the terrorists, you have a chance to take on 4 more missions: rescuing prisoners from a POW camp, destroying an underground nuclear installation, rescuing a hijacked ocean liner, and destroying a nuclear weapons center.
Okay. No worries. It's fine. It looks cool. Soccer Kid.
If soccer in this country goes through
Golden
the roof
Grams.
because of the World Cup, Micro League is in position to take advantage with a different sort of game. Soccer Kid isn't
Golden
just another
Grams.
attempt to come up with a soccer game. Instead, it's an adventure game for kids with a soccer motif.
We're not telling you any more about soccer. It's slowly deteriorating my computer. Wow. Okay, I think that might be a sign that I need to move on. I'm going to restart and hold on one second here. There we go. Oh, brother. All right. Hold on here. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Try again. There we go. All right, let's take another look at this. Hopefully it won't crash. And then about like 20 minutes, I'll
Welcome to episode 4 of Interactive Entertainment. In this episode,
yeah, Soccer
IE
Kid's
travels
revenge
to
for
Chicago
shit-talking
for the
him.
1994 Summer Consumer Electronics Show for a look at what's new, what's hot, and what's not. Experience CES coverage like you've never seen or heard it before.
All right, that was table of contents, the CES report. Finish Micro League, right? Yeah, let's do terms of service baseball.
For those of us who are
Basketball.
afraid to stare at the work on our computer for more than 10 minutes, Micro League has added basketball to its Timeout Sports series. This program consists of a screensaver, along with 4 games to provide a momentary diversion from the rigors of the workday. The game includes a 3-point competition, hot shot, horse, and sweat boy practice.
Sweat
the
boy?
screensavers feature those old standbys Bernie and Jock.
Sweat boy? You can't call something sweat boy. All right. Micro Pros.
To top it all off, that classic game Civilization has been updated to include true color SVGA graphics, 16-bit digital audio, and a 6-dimensional first-person perspective. Or maybe it was just hanging around for the heck of it. I'm not sure what purpose it served to display Civ at the CES, but there it was. Unfortunately, with my tight schedule, I didn't have time to hang around and build an empire to stand the test of time.
Civilization for Windows.
Hey, didn't I already see this game on the PC next door? Oh, sorry. This is the Windows version. Now, I love Civilization in all its incarnations as much as anybody, Sid excluded. But why is it here? And furthermore, why is it here
Yeah, it's
twice?
Sweat Boy Fall, baby. All right, colonization.
Sid Meier's latest offering, Colonization, was at the forefront of the Microprose display and even had its own unveiling ceremony and trumpet fanfare. This sequel to Civilization focuses on the years 1500 to 1800. Players control English, French, Spanish, or Dutch explorers as they attempt to successfully colonize the new world of North and South America. The goal is to establish self-sufficient colonies, deal with the native populace, and eventually achieve independence from your mother company. Featuring the habit-forming gameplay of Civilization, the romance of the unknown, the lure of the untold wealth, and the golden Sid Meier name, you can count on Colonization to be one of the hardest addictions to shake off this fall.
And Masters of Magic.
Another prominent offering from Microprose was Master of Magic. Designed by Simtex, the same guys who gave us Master of Orion last fall, this game takes you from your interstellar conquests and drops you into a medieval fantasy setting. You play a wizard who must establish territory in two worlds of different magical natures. Although it's technically a sequel to Master of Orion, it contains a city growth and management system very similar to that of Civilization. Gee, another mega-hit strategy game? What'd you expect? Master of Spam?
I want spam.
Does Microprose really think that we haven't played some of their best-selling
Give me
games
spam
of all
moose
time?
to be, thank
Do
you.
they think that we're interested in the sequels because we avoided the originals? Master of Orion is a great game, but I think that everybody already knew that. Come on, guys. Let's not turn 3 days of the newest and hottest projects in the universe into, oh boy, CES, the greatest hits package.
And Microprose CDs.
Some previously released floppy games like Fleet Defender, World Circuit, and 1942 Pacific Air War were in the process of being ported over to CD-ROM. Microprose will take advantage of the extra storage space by including online manuals to do away with the need for the 200-page tomes that burden the necks of flight sims like a dead albatross. These tutorials feature full-motion videos and a point-and-click guide to cockpit instrumentation.
Okay, that's Microprose. What other? Got New World Computing and Nintendo, and then I think we're gonna take a break after these two. Hammer of the Gods.
Hammer of the Gods is a combination of strategy and role-playing. Developed for New World by Several Dudes Holistic Gaming, who created Merchant Prince for QQP,
Several
Hammer
Dudes
of the Gods will
Holistic
offer
Gaming?
the same mix of exploration, trade, and combat. You play a Viking hero who must compete with other heroes for the favor of Odin, the godliest of Norse gods. Quests must be completed for every Norse god in the book. You'll establish trade routes, pen military treaties, and explore the unknown lands, competing with others all the while. The game will run in 640 by 480 Super VGA and will offer modem and network play for up to 4 players.
Okay. Heroes of Might and Magic, what
In
you
Heroes
got?
of Might and Magic, New World takes the characters and location of their popular Might and Magic role-playing series and transplants them into a strategic war game. You compete with 3 computer-controlled warlords as you explore the land and conquer new territories in your search for the artifact of the ancients. You will hire, recruit, blackmail, and otherwise persuade heroes to join your cause, helping you gather armies of men and monsters and lead them to victory. With SVGA graphics, dozens of maps, customizable computer
Cool,
adversaries,
Centaur.
and a random object placement generator to enhance replay, Heroes of Might and Magic
like
is
the wolf,
definitely a
too.
strategy game to watch for.
Iron Cross.
In the wake of their success with Empire Deluxe, New World is releasing another strategic war game, this one called Iron Cross. A World War II game, Iron Cross allows players to reenact some of the crucial battles that led to the downfall of the Third Reich. The game features upwards of 80 different units, ranging from infantry to artillery and armor, each of which comes with historically accurate statistics. The gameplay in Iron Cross takes place in real time, allowing the desktop general to see the results of his strategy as they occur and act accordingly. Gamers looking for a good involving warfare simulation should keep an eye out for Iron Cross.
All right, and Zephyr.
Zephyr promises to be a fast-paced arcade game players can jump right into. In Zephyr, you pilot a state-of-the-art hover tank in deadly combat to gain corporate sponsors. You fly through the city in first-person 3D, ducking around buildings to avoid enemy fire, chasing fleeing targets through winding alleys, and meeting your challenges face-to-face in the open arena. The game supports keyboard, mouse, or joystick play, and will even support the VFX-1 virtual reality headset. Modem play and up to 6-person network play top it all off. If first impressions count for anything, expect Zephyr to be one of the leading shooters of the year.
All right, Zephyr, leading shooter. Let's go. And last but not least, Nintendo with Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country is Nintendo's flagship for the second half of '94. Featuring their new graphic abilities aided by Silicon Graphics, Donkey Kong Country is full of beautifully rendered scenes with light source shading. The player plays Donkey Kong and guides him through many levels of danger.
Yeah, Krungo game here. We got Ken Griffey Jr.
Baseball games come and go, as do most of the current baseball stars. The latest license of Nintendo is Ken Griffey Jr. As most baseball fans know, Griffey could be on his way to beating the home run record set by the great Babe Ruth. With real teams and logos and an actual playoff structure, Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball should be a baseball fan's dream come true.
Thank you, maybe Sir Spam, for the follow. Thank you so much. All right, let's do Stunt Track FX.
Nintendo has long been known for their cute and cuddly characters. Mario, Koopa, Donkey Kong, you know the crew.
You know them.
A while back,
they
released Super Mario Kart. It wasn't a smash hit, but it was one of the best two-player games ever to be made, and one of the first Nintendo titles to include the FX chip. Officially, Stunt Track's FX
the iconic
is not
Koopa.
A sequel, but for all those eager Mario Kart fans, it will have to do.
Game Quarter, thank you so much for the sub.
I wasn't quite sure what
6 months, well,
the name on the machines being played at the CES was Stunt Track's FX, so that's what we'll call it. Stunt Track's FX has 4 unique trackses: Stunt Tracks, Time Tracks, Battle Tracks, and the Road Race, which has 12 levels. For race fans and Mario Kart fans alike, Stunt Tracks FX should be a great game.
And last but not least, for today's stream, it's Uniracers.
Uniracers is a simple racing game with 16 different unicycles to race with, and more than 6,000 frames of animation. Uniracers is also a 2-player simultaneous game with the option of a tournament mode for group play.
Okay, and that was Nintendo. When we come back to this, we'll be going through Nova Logic, Ocean, Paramount, a lot more. And yeah, let me do this and get out of here. Let me see how big the review. Look at how small the review section is this time. Oh my gosh. I assume previews is just yeah, okay. Okay, we'll come back to you. Interactive Entertainment Issue 4. But for now, I think it's time to break for intermission. And then after intermission, we will have the wild and wacky world of scam VHS tapes. So if you like scams, you're going to love these. I'm going to just quit out of here and shut down. I love the shutdown. Sick. Windows themes used to be sick, I swear. All right, folks, it's time for intermission. For intermission, we're going to be playing more nature sounds and a little tape called How to Make $500. So, be prepared to learn how to make $500. See you in a few.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gerald McCarthy. I'm president and CEO of a company called J&R Sunshine and Cheer. We are a home-based opportunities research and advisory service, which is a division of a company called J&R Research Corporation. We're headquartered in a small town in rural Iowa, and we've been in business for 19 solid years. Let me ask you, have you ever considered starting a home-based enterprise of your own? If you haven't, you should, because that's a major trend happening all across the nation. Each year, hundreds of thousands of people are starting high-paying ventures operated strictly from their homes, and so can you. What's more, besides the potential for high income, there are major tax advantages you're probably not aware of involved with a home-based enterprise, and that can literally save you up to many thousands of dollars yearly slashed off your income taxes. More about that later. But the main problem most people encounter who would just love to establish a home-based income source is this. How in the world can the average person even remotely begin to locate and verify the opportunities that are truly the best paying and genuine from among the thousands that are out there? How to pinpoint the precious few that will give you the very maximum probabilities for success and long-lasting, dependable income? Well, that's why in 1980, 19 years ago, we started this company to do just one thing and do it very well. Back then, we recognized that the home-based income opportunity field was polluted with quite a bit of misinformation, hype, hot air, and hoopla. So what we did was create a unique 9-point evaluation system. Using that system allows us to pinpoint and independently verify the best-paying 1 or 2 home-based opportunities out there at any given time. Then we inform our clients in every state about them. And doing that is not an easy job, not when you consider there are now over 2,000 various home-based opportunities you can choose from. Over the years, more than 41,000 people have tracked our advice in this area, and this tape constitutes our most recent opportunity report to them. Plus, it's the actual tool that should be used to inform others about the outstanding gem of an opportunity we recently verified. So chances are the person who rushed this tape to you is one of our longtime J&R clients. And if you'd first like to check us out, we are a member of the Chamber of Commerce of the United States, Washington, D.C., the American Advertising Federation, Washington, D.C., the National Federation of Independent Business, Washington, D.C., the National Small Business Service Bureau, Worcester, Massachusetts, our local Chamber of Commerce, and our bank is the Union National Bank. Also, we're rated by Dun & Bradstreet. And lastly, yours truly's business background was detailed in the U.S. Registry's Who's Who of Leading American Executives. And by the way, our doors are always open for you to stop by and visit J&R anytime you travel through Iowa. We're west of Des Moines on Highway 92, and our 2 J&R buildings are right next door to the town's grocery on Main Street. Now, here's a very quick preview, a thumbnail version, about this most recently recommendable opportunity. First, as just one of several extremely simple marketing methods you can use, running some classified newspaper ads, then mailing this tape to those who respond, has had a pretty amazing result. What happens is this. After your ad responders simply play this tape, many will immediately send orders and checks in the mail, each being worth $550, upfront cash on the barrelhead retail profit. I repeat, $550 upfront cash profit on each order, which is a 55% cash in hand commission. What's more, you don't even need to stock the product. You take out your commission, then send the wholesale cost to the supplier company, and they ship the product to your customers on an absolutely no-risk, 100% money-back certification of satisfaction. What's more, the company provides state-of-the-art training by telephone that shows you how to get up to 4, 5, or 6 orders and checks in the mail per week. What is the product and why do people order after hearing this tape? Well, it represents one of the greatest consumer bargains available anywhere. And as you know, just about everybody responds to a true and genuine bargain. On top of that, the product has a marvelous dream quality to it, as well as being able to save people up to many thousands of dollars that most are already spending. On top of that, the product brings people joy, happiness, and good times. And your director's profit on each order is a cool $550. You'll be part of a $3.4 trillion per year industry. In fact, the largest retail industry in the world. The company's stock is publicly traded across the nation. And that company, being a public stock company, says to the world, we don't mind being scrutinized. How many of you know that the greatest scrutiny you can get is when you become a public company? Well, that's because you answer to the SEC every 90 days. You can't blow your nose without informing the government. The company didn't have to go public. They did it for one reason, to demonstrate that they've got their T's crossed and their I's dotted as a corporation. But understand, the company isn't endorsed by any agency, federal, state, or local. None of those agencies do that. However, The company is registered with the Better Business Bureau, and you can readily check their Dun & Bradstreet rating. So you'll be dealing with a company that's a very solid, well-run corporation. This is an enterprise you can work strictly from home, choosing your own hours, working at your own pace. And to participate in the marketing program at any rank, no purchase of product is required. What's more, you can start making money with this immediately. Plus, the beautiful part is getting this tape to people by mail or in person is a very laid-back, non-threatening, and professional way to produce a lot of income without feeling at all like you're imposing upon anyone. As an example, if you can picture yourself placing classified ads in the paper or simply handing out this tape to lots of people who you know, then you can succeed with this. And you can run ads in any newspaper in the nation, not just locally. Here's how it works. You place your ads, then your ad responders first dial a special 800 number 2-minute recorded information message. Then, after hearing that, the seriously interested callers leave word on your voicemail box or answering machine for more information. So, when it's most convenient for you each day or evening, you call those inquirers back and do just two things. You tactfully ask them a few questions. You're not doing any selling. You just ask them a few questions that help you to get more acquainted with them. Next, you simply mail them this tape, suggesting they play it while driving to and from work. Mind you, this tape does all the explaining and persuasion, so that you don't have to do any of that. Lastly, to prepare you for what you're about to hear, I've got to tell you about the fellow who tipped me off about this. His name is David Sage. David is one of the nation's most well-known entrepreneurs, and he's a business friend of mine whose opinions I've seriously valued over many years. David's last major venture in environmental products brought in over $1 billion in worldwide sales. That's B as in boy, over $1 billion in sales. But he confided to me, and I quote, "This one will be much bigger," end quote. In line with that prediction, let me ask you this. If you went into the world's largest retail industry, and you were able to offer customers of that industry top quality, but with actual, literal, pennies-on-the-dollar bargains that no one else could match, do you think that would be a formula for a great opportunity? Well, to confirm its profitability, we first ran a marketing test. Frankly, I was stunned and elated. What was the marketing test? We simply mailed out and handed out a previous version of this tape to lots of people, which is the same thing you will do. From that, they sold themselves on the product and ordered, pure and simple, with no seller-to-prospect verbal persuasion or arm twisting whatsoever. Absolutely none. And in fact, you'll find that if you try to pitch or persuade people on the product, it's actually counterproductive. That works against you. The old saying that everyone loves to buy things but hate being sold was never truer than with this. In this enterprise, you let the system do the persuasion. So this is simple to do. Also, it's a great opportunity because it involves a feel-good product, something that people just love to do. It involves the travel industry. What does everybody look forward to all year long? First, their major 2 weeks vacation, plus as many in-between weekend getaways as they can afford to take. What does everybody try to do when they take those vacations and weekend getaways? They try to save money on the cost. What do all business people do when they travel? They're looking to save money. And that's exactly what this product does. It saves people money. It slashes people's traveling costs way beyond any travel agent, internet source, or any advertised source that's out there. Because of that, it gives people the ability to do a lot more traveling without the normal stress on the pocketbook. Now, everybody knows who John Nesbitt is. He wrote Megatrends several years ago and is recognized as the greatest trend forecaster in global economics. He also wrote Global Paradox, and in it he devotes an entire chapter on travel. Now, listen to what Nesbitt has to say about travel. Quote, "Travel and tourism is the world's largest industry. Travel and tourism employs 1 in every 9 workers worldwide. Expectations for growth in tourism is 23% faster than the world economy. And catch this one. Travel and tourism accounts for 10.9% of all consumer spending. That's a staggering statement. 10.9% of all consumer spending worldwide." And he goes on, The World Travel and Tourism Council forecasts travel and tourism will create 144 million new jobs worldwide between now and the year 2005. Travel and tourism in the United States is the nation's third largest retail industry, behind only auto dealerships and food stores, end quote. So the point is this. If you want to start a home-based enterprise, why not do it within an industry that's the world's largest industry, and with all-time great bargains that no one else can match? Then simply get your slice of the pie. So what I'm going to share with you is about a company called Travel Dynamics, what they do, and the money that you can make. So keep this in mind. The general public and business people are continually searching for the best travel values for the least possible cost. This is so simple. Everyone feels good about traveling and vacationing. You're not trying to convince them they need a different brand of laundry soap or cleaning products or cosmetics or anything like that. In fact, you won't even try to convince anybody. First, because you don't need to. You're simply meeting a need that people already have.
Where did my jester outfit come from? I didn't remember clicking that. Sorry about that. I'm back. So, yeah, you all know how to make a $550. It's by sending a tape about how to make $550 to other people. So, good stuff. All right, folks, it's now time for the VHS portion of the program. Here we go. All right. I have accumulated about an hour's worth of VHS tapes featuring scams, pyramid schemes, MLMs, all that good stuff. Folks, public service announcement. Don't join an MLM. Don't join a pyramid scheme. If someone tells you how to make money quick and it's not selling drugs, they're a liar. So, yeah. Let's start with the first video here called Plan B. Got one.
The U.S. unemployment rate jumped to 6% in April, the highest in nearly 8 years. Folks are coming back into the labor market, but they're just not finding jobs. The Labor Department said new claims for state unemployment insurance jumped to the highest level.
People employed in big cities are effectively working 6 days a week because of their long commute.
Considering cutting 20% of its workforce as it faces possible Chapter 11.
Let's face it. Unemployment is a constant threat. Entire industries are downsizing. The stock market is as unstable as ever. Trillions have been lost. And it's not over. One of the richest men in America, Warren Buffett, said it best. This downturn could last 8 years. 8 years. What? You won't be affected? You are beyond the problems in the economy?
And I forgot to mention, but I added some sound for
tomorrow,
with the VHS
I don't care
tape.
if you're a CEO, dental hygienist, or plumber.
Ago, so.
If you lost your job tomorrow and couldn't find work for, say, 8 weeks, would you have enough money to survive?
Would I?
Yes or no?
No.
If the answer is yes, what if it took you 16 weeks, 52 weeks? If the answer is no, guess what? You need to make more money now. This is not rocket science. It is reality. And according to the statistics, it is the reality for the majority of North Americans. Because if you run out of money in a slow economy, you will suffer. Your family will suffer. Your kids will suffer. But you've got a great job, right?
Bingo!
You are recession-proof, right?
Thank you all for testing out.
I don't care who
I'm
you
glad
are
the
or
redeems
what
work.
you do. In a weak economy, the rules change. Because let's face it, if you work for somebody else, if you have a job, how secure can you possibly be? Think about it. If they find someone faster than you, cheaper than you are out of a job. So, what are
Pasta
your
with all sorts of different sauces.
Option number 1, go out and get a second job.
Sure, why not? But chances are, you won't even make enough to pay the taxes, the additional child care, or even the extra mileage on your car. And that's if you can even find a job.
Option number 2, sit back and do nothing. You've got a 401k.
Okay, You could always relax and rely on that 401k, and that was a great plan. But have you checked it lately? Don't forget, that money, your money, is not sitting
No,
in
you
some
can't have
magic
overlapping
vault where it
audio,
gets sprinkled
unfortunately.
with 8% pixie dust. It's in the stock market, the risk market. And guess what? When the market goes down the tubes, your money goes down with it.
Option number 3. Start your own business.
Great. Of course, first of all, you'll have to lease an office, buy a phone system, sign contracts, get a CPA, letterhead, inventory, warehouse space, and oh yeah, employees. That sounds like fun, right? And with 95% of small businesses going out of business the first year...
Fail.
Good luck. Or, of course, you could buy a franchise, a proven system, marketing tools, training. Good option. If you've got $100,000 to $1 million in cash lying around, you could become a freelancer or independent contractor.
I know
Great,
that.
if you have a marketable skill and the patience to be salesperson, bookkeeper, and collections manager. Bottom line, starting a business from scratch is tough, hard, risky work. But owning your own business is the only way to take control back. The only way to control your time.
Control
cash
time.
flow, and quality of
Bingo!
life.
Pasta with all sorts of different sauces.
Those people out on the golf course at 11 a.m. on a Thursday. The people fishing with their kids at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. The people driving the Mercedes and Porsches.
Okay,
Chances
Chad,
are,
what do you think
those
they're
people
selling?
own their own
What do you
business.
think is the business
And the
they're
good
selling
news,
you?
you can too. Look, this country was founded on freedom, but it was built on small business. Working for someone else, be it a corporation or the government, is a relatively new phenomenon.
Gold is actually
Owning your
not a
own
bad
business,
option.
being your own boss,
It's definitely
that
an
is the
MLM.
American dream. So, what are the options for the rest of us? What kind of business can the average person get involved in with little or no capital investment, with little or no business experience or expertise?
All kinds of
Part-time
sauces.
Or full-time. A business that will give you a chance to make some real money, whatever that means to you. Whether that means $1,000 extra a month, $1,000 extra a week, or even a six-figure income.
You will not
Let's
make a
face
six-figure
it,
income
money
with this.
changes everything. It changes the
Pasta
car you
with all
drive,
sorts of different
the
sauces.
vacations you take, the school your kids go to. And when you are the boss, your life changes dramatically.
Let's hear it
You
for
decide
Jimmy
when you want to pay costs. You decide when you work, what time you get up, what you wear. You decide.
I do
not
decide
them.
what I wear. I'm
Bottom
currently
line,
wearing a
you
t-shirt
can do
and
it.
sweatpants.
You can beat a recession.
You can.
And you can
Eat this
take
egg.
control of your life. And it's easy to get started. You can start part-time with no employees, no headaches, and not a lot of money. The company? Prepaid Legal Services Incorporated. Where you can create a business of your own and live the life you've
Oh my
always
God.
wanted. And the best
Chat,
part,
I actually,
you have a
I didn't know that.
$350 million publicly
Oh my
traded
God.
company behind you. Prepaid Legal has been in business since 1972, is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, has experienced 10 years of record-setting growth, and has over 1.4 million memberships in force in the United States and Canada, and that's only a 2% market penetration. The market is wide open. It's a proven company with a proven product and a proven opportunity. An opportunity for you to live your dreams.
My first month with Prepaid Legal, we earned in excess of $10,000. My first year with Prepaid Legal, we earned in excess of $119,000.
My only dream was $800 a month. I averaged over 10 every month. $10,000 every month, staying home.
To be able to write a check for a $50,000 card and not really worry about the cost and totally live on cash. People almost find it hard to believe.
I live literally in the
Company
middle
still
of the
exists
national
called
forest. I have
Legal
80
Shield.
acres.
Okay,
I've got
okay.
elk, moose, bear, deer. It's a great lifestyle.
To look at the things we have today is it's like every day if I'm gone, I drive in and I pull in and I think, that's my house, It's been a great dream come true.
Out there, I've got a brand new Lincoln Navigator with all the bells and whistles, and Porsche Boxster S, which was always my dream car. It's not just about the cars, but hey, look, every guy wants to have a Ferrari 355 Spider, and I just got a red with tan interior. My ultimate dream car.
I just want a smoothie.
And that's what life's about, enjoying it. Life's too short to be miserable.
The sky is the limit. We've only just begun with prepaid legal.
Let's face it, the economy is weak. And with the current global situation, it looks like it will be that way for a long, long time. Look, you can live in fear of the economy, or you can control the economy. It's your choice. What is your plan B? You may not have as much time as you think, but whatever you do something, because the government isn't going to save you. Your boss isn't going to save you. It's up to you.
So, chat, you may have heard of prepaid legal services because of their infomercial. I am going to show you that one part of that infomercial because I, under my very, very old name, Bridgeport Cat, archived this on YouTube. So give me 1 second. I really want to quickly show this off. Just give me a minute to set this up. I do appreciate that, folks. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. It's prepaid legal services. Oh my God. Okay, we're going to do a window capture. You're going to see some of my window here. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you could see my bookmarks. Terrible. Could you believe that someone took the Justice for All song and did a thing with the Ace Attorney? Isn't that delightful? Isn't that delightful? Hold on, let me done this. No, don't start. Give me a sec. Let me just thank you all very much for your patience. But you have to see this. Just trust me on this. I don't... hold on. There we go. Hold on. Okay, here we go. You're not going to believe this.
Stand and fight, take back your rights. America still means justice for all. Now you can fight for justice, take back your rights. There's still equality and there's still justice for all. Prepaid legal services will empower you. We'll help you stand and fight, take back your rights. America still means justice for all.
I'm the rat.
Take back the power. The law was made for you.
No, this is from 1994,
Now you
actually.
can stand and fight, defend your rights. Stand up for the truth. We can have justice for all. Hey! No one's above the law. No one's better than you. America's still your land, so take a stand. Justice can still shine through. We can have justice for
Okay, cool. Thank you all for indulging me there. I just needed to show that off because I never have an excuse to show off prepaid legal services. So thank you, everybody. All right, moving on. Next tape. Let's set this up here real quick. The next tape is Financial Trends of the 90s Executive. So just so you know, if the sound is kind of off on some of these, I did have to re-render a few of these videos because there were glitches and stuff like that in the original archive upload. So I had to make some adjustments here, but I think I did okay with it. Also from the Thrift Archivist, it's Financial Trends of the 90s Executive. So what do you think this one's going to sell you?
Now, there are new business horizons and financial trends, if you know how to look ahead. In the 90s, the roadmap is already laid out.
That's a good one. Penny stocks, that's not a bad idea.
Out of every 100 Americans, only 5 reach age 65 financially independent. And only 2% earn $100,000 a year or above. And less than 0.2% have incomes of over $500,000 a year. So, where do you fit into all of this? Are you happy with your present job? With your present income?
Yeah,
like all true freedoms, financial freedom begins with some alternatives.
If you're a millionaire, you're not on a
For
Carnival
things to
cruise,
change,
I'll tell you that.
you usually have to change. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting what you've been getting. There are only 3 ways to make money. Number 1 is to get paid for your efforts. Number 2 is to get paid on other people's efforts. Or number 3 is to get paid on your investments.
Okay, so it does
In
seem
other
like
words,
it might be for
let your money
stocks here.
work for you.
My money work for me,
The
man.
catch there is that it takes money to make money. So that leaves a lot of us out. So let's look at number 1, getting paid for your efforts. You could either be the boss or the employee. As an employee, someone else controls your time. They control your income. And they use you to build their dreams. After 30 years, you retire on about half of what you couldn't live on already. And that's if they don't lay you off first. And with higher taxes plus a poor economy and talk of a recession, being an employer can be even tougher. In fact, in 1990, failure rates among independent business rose considerably over the previous 2 years.
So you should start your own
These are
independent
facts,
business.
not intended to frighten, but to inform. And there are some very good things you need to know about too, some of which may begin with number 2, getting paid on other people's efforts.
Oh yeah, MLMs
The
would not want
concept
you
is
to know about
time-tested.
unions.
It goes all the way back to entrepreneurs like billionaire J. Paul Getty, who once said, "I'd rather earn my fortune from 1% of the efforts of 100 people than from 100% of my own efforts." This kind of thinking formed the roots of a concept called network marketing.
Network marketing, aka
Today, networking
MLM.
is being taught as part of the business curriculums at
polite term for
200
MLM,
colleges and
network marketing.
universities,
Don't do it.
including Stanford and Harvard Business School. Author John Nesbitt devotes an entire chapter to networking in his best-selling book, Megatrends.
Megatrends.
It's an industry that will account for over $40 billion in sales nationally and internationally in 1991. Some sources project that the amount of goods and services sold through network marketing will reach 50% or higher during the decade of the 90s. It's one of the strongest financial trends of the 90s.
No, it's
network
not.
marketing.
No.
Chances are you've already been touched by it in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Because now
my
statistics
uncle
show
sold
that 3
Herbalife
in every
and
4 persons has bought goods and services from a friend.
It sucked.
While 1 in every 4 persons has sold some goods or services to a friend. In fact, many companies in the corporate world recognize the value of network marketing, and the players are no lightweights. Some are Fortune 500 companies and major NYSE-listed corporations. But corporate success in network marketing is only half the story. The other half starts with individuals like you.
Me?
People from every walk of life and economic background, where you can join your efforts in cooperation with others and be paid for both. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself, where you can start with low financial risk and good potential for very high returns. How can this be?
They're reading Megatrends.
It's fairly simple.
The
Even a
thing.
modest business startup in
Pizza
today's
Inn,
world
that
of
doesn't
business may
exist
cost $1
anymore. Get
million.
out of here.
In traditional business, a company may spend $1 million to run a TV commercial only once. Network marketing companies use the same $1 million to pay people like you and me for our efforts. Most of the money that goes to high overhead and that goes to middlemen in traditional business goes to the distributor in network marketing. It is the most cost-effective way known by man to market a product.
Known
and
by
is
man.
Truly one of the fastest-growing marketing trends in the 90s. It's a time-tested concept of earning
Pizza
through
Inn
the
is still
success
around?
of others,
Okay, I take it back.
not by competing with them. If you came from a corporate background, your chances would be the reverse of that. The closer you get to the top, the more intense the competition, both from above and below. It's the classic dog-eat-dog world, with very little room at the top.
I've never been to
But
Dallas,
network
but it
marketing
scares
is
me.
more evolved
It's
than
too
that.
corporate.
In Megatrends, Nesbitt defines it this way. In the network environment, success is achieved by empowering others to do well, not by climbing over them. Empowering others to do well. According to Success Magazine, network marketing is the most powerful way to reach consumers in the 90s. It looks for certain as if the decade of the 90s will be strongly influenced by network marketing. Network marketing now counts for many of the more than 500,000 millionaires in America today. Now, let's look at the industry predicted by some to make more millionaires
The only
than
way to
all
make money
previous
in
industries.
an MLM is to get in
Our
early.
environment. Blend the two, and you have a surefire winning business combination. Yes, the two financial trends come together here with perfect timing. No doubt, the 90s will mark the greatest area of growth for network marketing, just as the 90s will hearken the era of the environment. Fortune magazine recently declared 77% of all Americans surveyed said the #1 standard by which they would buy any company's products in the 90s would be its environmental track record.
Okay.
Now, pick environmental products most people don't have, and pick a company with a well-established track record both nationally and internationally. With manufacturing facilities that can keep up with the supply, meeting the demands. Inc. magazine gives facts and figures about a company that is the 22nd fastest growing in America and is #1 in its field of environmental air and water products.
Okay.
Yes, the quality of the air we breathe and the water we drink. The company is NSA.
NSA!
National Safety Associates is a 20-year-old company based in Memphis, Tennessee. They manufacture and market environmental air and water products. NSA has been honored by the city of Memphis with a very special award.
Wow.
It is called the Outstanding Company Award. This prestigious award is shared only by other Memphis-based companies such as Holiday Inns of America and Federal Express. NSA is one of the top direct sales companies in the history of direct sales in America, beating out Eastman Kodak as Tennessee Exporter of the Year. With over $1 billion in sales,
Kodak.
NSA has sold well over 2 million units. It is also one of the fastest growing. In 2.5 years, sales have climbed from about $1 million per month wholesale to over $40 million a month, with projections of $100 million per month within the next 3 to 5 years. NSA has over 600,000 square feet of office and manufacturing facilities, employs 1,000
I love the
people,
Good Company Award.
and has 5 top management people who have been with the company
look
over
like
15 years.
You're going to scam me.
NSA has an impressive 4A2 financial rating with Dun & Bradstreet and has no long-term debt. NSA invests over $2 million a year in training programs, which target over 80 major cities.
80 cities?
These training sessions are free to NSA distributors. NSA has a product that meets a recognized need. Every nutrition book, every weight loss book, and most doctors agree we need to drink more water. On the other side, the news media is telling us not to drink it because it may have a problem. NSA stands right in the middle as a solution to this recognized need with an in-house bottled water appliance priced right for the consumer and giving filtered drinking water for 3 cents a gallon.
That's right.
Instead
It's
of
a water
$1 a gallon
filter.
at the
That's
store,
what we're selling.
in an industry that is booming. The bottled water industry is a financial giant and growing by leaps and bounds, selling at the store for approximately $1 a gallon. This has attracted heavyweight investors in the beverage industry, such as Coca-Cola and Anheuser-Busch. Bottled waters at the grocery store use activated carbon filtering as stated on the label. They sell it for approximately $1 per gallon. On January 5th, 1988,
They sell it for more
a group
now.
of scientists presented Congress with results from a 5-year study on America's tap water, explaining the problems and the solution. The solution: activated carbon filtering.
That's right.
Consumer
the solution?
advocate Ralph Nader,
Carbon.
along with many of the major bottlers of water, agree that activated carbon is the most cost-effective way of filtering our drinking water. NSA offers
Ralph
a
Nader,
variety
known-
of water
and-
treatment
a known
units
stan
using granular activated carbon, like a lot of bottled waters at the store. We call it our in-home bottled water appliance. Most of our units are bacteriostatic, making them maintenance-free. Point-of-use filtration in the convenience of your own kitchen seems to be the best alternative to $1 a gallon for bottled water at the store. Never worry again about the inconvenience or the shelf life
there's
of bottled
a water
waters.
filter MLM
Make your
out
own
there
filtered
called
water and drink it
Enagic,
fresh.
and it's huge.
Here are several models from which to choose.
It like alkalines your water. It's very strange. It's like $5,000 a filter. This Enagic MLM scam.
The 50C is our countertop model. This unit is known as the puppy of our products because of the puppy dog sales approach used in the marketing. Say you give a child a puppy for 1 week. They certainly wouldn't want to give the dog up at week's end. The 50C is just like a puppy. Try it. You won't want to give it up. Here is our sales approach. Drink free bottled water on me for a week. Then, tell me how much better your coffee and tea taste, and that you find yourself drinking more water. The week is over, and a lot of your friends had rather give you a check than give the unit back. The 50C is guaranteed for 3 years and produces 5,000 gallons of quality drinking water for only $179. Or only $5 monthly over 3 years. That's 3 cents a gallon for all the water you can drink.
You can get
At the
Brita
store,
for like
at $1 a gallon, that would cost you $5,000,
30
making the
bucks, 40 bucks,
50C a real value at $179.
No.
So doesn't it make good sense to filter your own water in the convenience of your own kitchen with an NSA do-it-yourself bottled water appliance? Here's a test to show the difference between most tap water and water from an NSA filter. This is the reason a lot of people spend up to $1 a gallon for filtered and bottled water from the store. We'll run tap water into 1 glass.
Okay.
And by simply pulling the diverter button on our countertop model, we get filtered water in another glass. You can usually smell and taste the difference by sampling the filtered water first. What we are going to do here is a visual test by putting OTO drops in both glasses.
Okay, I don't know what
OTO
that
can
is.
be purchased at any swimming pool supply and is used to test the chlorine level in the pool. By using this color graph that comes in the test kit, you can see how much chlorine is present. What we find in some cases is that there is as much chlorine in the
just get
tap
one of
water
those
as
Brita
in the
water
swimming pool.
filters
And see
for
here,
the fridge.
the tap water has turned yellow, showing the presence of chlorine, while the filtered water stayed crystal clear.
What?
More than 70% of our
Hey,
body
I wasn't kidding
is
when
water.
I said that
Water
these
makes up
videos
more
are
than
encoded very
80% of our blood
strangely,
supply.
and they have some
Which
strange
water
errors
sitting
in
here
them.
would you rather be made of? Our kidneys use water over and over for a total of 2,500 gallons per week.
You could almost say there's 2 choices: filter your water or be a filter. We're not knocking chlorine. We must use chlorine or some other type of chemical to kill bacteria in our water. But then, it is so simple to take it out before we drink it by using activated carbon filtration.
When you go to the store to buy a loaf of bread, it comes wrapped in plastic to protect it until we get ready to eat it. But you don't eat the plastic wrapper. Look at chlorine as the wrapper around our water to protect it until we are ready to drink it.
I eat the plastic
Then,
wrapper.
remove it with your NSA in-home bottled water appliance. By doing so, we remove bad odor and bad taste and end up drinking more water. The 100S unit filters 12,000 gallons, fits under the counter, and retails for $209. The 25i is a filtration unit for your ice maker, producing over 3,000 gallons of filtered ice and retails for $74. The 10p is used for traveling or taking into the restaurant and filters 250 gallons for $49.
That's very strange.
Our shower head filters 24,000 gallons and retails for $239. The 3000 HM filters heavy metals and retails for $299. The 300H is a whole house system, filtering 75,000 gallons and retails for $539 with a small yearly cost to replace the cartridge. This 744 model is a well unit for the treatment of problem water, and bottleless water coolers for the office are also now available. These two models require a special training workshop. See a certified NSA dealer for details. Now, let's get physical. This is NSA's newest product, our sparkling water appliance. Just take NSA filtered water and add carbonation, and you have NSA sparkling water. By adding flavors, create your own flavored carbonated water. Now, just use the fruits of your imagination and make bubbly, tasty water. Add some fizz to your grape juice, cranapple juice, any juice, and see how good it tastes.
Okay.
There is an endless supply of ideas and recipes for your NSA sparkling water appliance. According to Forbes magazine, 50 new brands of carbonated water were introduced in 1986 alone, and we now have over 500 different brands. It is the fastest growing segment of the beverage industry. Now you can make your own with NSA sparkling water appliance, only $249. Now let's talk more about the environment and air pollution. Most people are aware of the problems we are facing with air pollution. When most of us think of air pollution, this is all we really see. Smokestacks and crowded freeways in congested cities.
Yeah, nasty.
We don't think about our very own homes and offices. According to the American Lung Association, indoor air quality is a much worse problem than outdoor air, sometimes up to 20 times worse. This is alarming when the average person spends about 90% of their time inside. And did you know, the average person breathes in about 16,000 quarts of air each day.
That's a lot of air to breathe in.
Each quart of air contains some 70,000 visible and invisible particles. Experts agree, without some type of filtration, our lungs and respiratory systems are the only defenses we have. The average person's respiratory system has to eliminate over 2 heaping tablespoons full of particle matter each day. 60% of children are exposed to cigarette smoke from one or both parents, and respiratory problems among children of smokers are 10 to 20% higher than with children of non-smokers. According to the experts, there are 2 basic types of contaminants in the air we breathe. Gases and particles. Gases range from offensive odors to more complex problems. NSA's environmental systems address both problems. Particles such as dust and pollen cause problems for us like allergies, hay fever, and sinus irritations. And gases attach themselves to these particles floating in the air that are so small we can't see them. And some experts say breathing secondhand smoke is about the same as smoking. We've gone all out to insulate our homes well to keep down the rising energy costs. And now all these things are trapped inside our homes. The paint and wallpaper, carpets and upholstered furniture help add to the inside air pollution with their dyes and chemicals. Dust in the home, though, is the most common year-round particle floating in the air. Notice the dust settled on the furniture when doing your house cleaning? And our heating and cooling systems help to recirculate it and keep it afloat. Meet these critters you may live with and not even know.
Hi.
This is a magnified picture of the common house dust mite, found in the house dust of most homes.
You're cute. You're
Many people are more allergic to mites than to other house dust components. These dust mites travel on the dust that floats in household air. Ads such as this are running in our nation's newspapers, advertising to come out and clean your air ducts of these tiny beasts. NSA now offers 2 quality air filters at a reasonable cost, the Model 1200A and Model 7000A. The 1200A filters air fast and absorbs and neutralizes most odors. It is up to 80% efficient for filtering particle size from the air down to 0.3 microns. It treats approximately 1,500 cubic feet and retails for $179. The 7000A features HEPA filtration. The Donaldson Manufacturing Companies manufacture the HEPA filter in our unit, and all patents on HEPA, which stands for High Efficiency Particulate Air, are owned by the United States government. It was developed by the Atomic Energy Commission during World War II to remove radioactive dust from plant exhaust, and was found only until recently in industrial, medical, and pharmaceutical facilities. HEPA filtration is rapidly coming into use in medical applications, such as burn centers and surgery rooms, where the air must be optimal.
HEPA is a good thing.
The 7000A also uses a pre-filter to remove larger particles and a tri-media filter. 95% efficiency at 0.3 microns meets hospital approval. Air passing through the 7000A is 95% efficient down to 0.1 microns. This unit filters approximately 3,000 cubic feet and retails for $479. Replacement filters for the 1200A and 7000A are available from NSA. Air filters for the car are coming soon.
Okay.
Here is a brief look at how an NSA distributor gets paid. There are 4 different positions in our marketing plan. The first position is called dealer. The second position is direct distributor. The third position, car qualified.
Looks like a step
and the fourth
pyramid,
position,
if you ask me.
sales coordinator. We are going to take the countertop model that retails for $179 and use as an example to illustrate to you the profits for the distributor at each pay level. Starting off at the bottom position as a dealer, a brand new dealer earns $59, approximately a 30% profit. To move up to the next position of direct distributor, you must do $5,000 wholesale volume in 1 calendar month. That's you and your organization. You can then qualify for additional rebates and bonuses that bring your earnings up to $92, approximately 50% profit on the different models. NSA has a Distributor Benefits Association for direct distributors and above. This includes major medical health insurance at group rates. That could be a considerable savings. The distributor has the use of MasterCard and Visa to make the retail sale. Simply mail NSA the credit card slip and get the check back promptly. Other benefits are coming soon. As your sales increase, so do your profits. The next position, car qualified, $15,000 in business in 4 calendar months. That's you and your total organization of dealers, and it can bring your total up to $104, which is a 55% profit. Here is the magic in the NSA pay plan. A product that sells for under $200 and pays the distributor over $100. To reach the top position, sales coordinator, all you have to do is $25,000 in business in 1 calendar month. That's
Just
you
sell
and your group.
$25,000
And with the rebates and bonuses you receive at this level, it can bring your earnings up to $111 on the same $179 sale. That's a 60% profit from selling NSA's different models. You can earn anywhere from 30 to 60%. What's exciting is, once you qualify for any of these positions, it's permanent.
in a month, huh?
In other words, once you do the $25,000 worth of business, you are always a sales coordinator. We have a lot of part-time people working NSA. A part-time dealer can sell 3 countertop models a week and earn $13,000 a year. How many people do you know that can use an extra $1,000 a month? Now let's take a look at the management opportunity.
Okay, management.
If you're at the sales coordinator level working at 60% and your dealer is working at 30%, the company pays you the difference. Once you have 5 frontline sales coordinators, you can then qualify for 5th Dimension and National Marketing Director.
It's not the 5th Dimension,
National
it's a
Marketing
pyramid.
Directors receive a benefit package that includes up to $3,000 a month expense allowance. That can be $36,000 a year. Profit sharing. Last year, the company divided up $2 million in profit sharing among the National Marketing Directors. Stock in the company. A full insurance package including hospitalization and life insurance. And there's more. The timing could not look better to become an NSA distributor. After all, are you more concerned about this water, or this water, or this water? Is it any wonder that Newsweek magazine stated, water business is a booming business? Newsweek is talking about the in-home water treatment business. The front page of the Wall Street Journal stated the market for water filter and purification devices is on the verge of exploding. Another report recently appeared on the front page of the Wall Street Journal titled Trends in Industry and Finance. It stated, water worries prompt growing investor interest. The entire water industry is on the edge of a boom. Tougher water quality concerns will benefit companies that make water filters, said the Wall Street Journal. U.S. Water News and the Kiplinger-Washington Letter state that in-home water filtration should double from 1991 through 1993, and of all the water treatment technologies, activated carbon and sediment filters will account for 3/4 of the overall market volume. And now, are you more concerned about this air or this air? The headlines of the New York Times business section indicates that the dollars spent on concerns for air pollution have a 3 times greater potential than that spent on water. In the first 12 months, NSA has become the largest distributor of environmental air filters for the home. Let's hear from a few NSA distributors.
Okay.
These distributors earn above average NSA incomes. There is in no way a guarantee that a distributor with NSA will earn any income whatsoever. The incomes, if any, are solely based upon the personal efforts and abilities of the individual participant in the NSA program.
Tell me about bow tie lady.
My name is Jeffrey Morrison, a National Marketing Director with NSA, National Safety Associates of Memphis, Tennessee. And I was introduced to this business. I'm a veterinarian by profession. Well, 3 years ago, this company was doing about $1 million a month in sales. And I've seen their extraordinary growth over the past 3 years to where the company's doing in excess of $50 million a month in sales now, and has expanded from about 5,000 square feet of floor space to over 400,000 square feet of floor space, and it feels good to be part of something growing like that.
Yeah,
well,
if you're a veterinarian, why do you need a side gig?
To take on a part-time business and put a lot of effort into it because of my commitment to my practice. But after the second month working this business part-time, I earned more money than I was earning from my full-time veterinary practice. Well, that's not to say that veterinary medicine is bad, because I love my profession.
Appreciate that.
But I went on to work the business part-time for a year, and the numbers were just incredible. I could not
He totally
overlook
pushes this on his patients.
what had
You know he
happened
does.
past year.
Well,
Because
do
I
you want
earned
your
more money
dog
part-time
drinking
in
shit
this
water?
business,
Then
NSA,
if you
than I
don't,
had
buy my
with
thing.
my profession that I'd spent years to build.
Hi, my name is Heidi Dulay. I work NSA with my partner Marina Burt in San Francisco. We are commercial real estate developers in the San Francisco Bay Area. We rehab retail and office
She has an
buildings
incredible
in the
fit.
Bay Area. And before that, I was a university professor.
She's like
I
got the
have
Mike
a
Doonesbury
doctorate
fit.
from Harvard University. I have a master's degree from the Stanford Business School. And together with Marina Burt, we've written about 5 academic books. You know, lots of achievement, and sometimes lots of money, and sometimes no money. And a lot of times, a lot of stress. You know, at Stanford University, at the business school, they said the buzzword
She does have
is
the
global
she-they
economy,
fit.
shrinking world. If you want to be anything at all in business, you've got to have a multinational corporation. I figure NSA is my vehicle to have a multinational corporation. We're now in Canada, in Europe, we're going to be in the Far East. So I will have a multinational corporation and make lots of money doing it.
My name is Rick Teague.
Hi,
My
Rick.
wife, Michelle, and I are national marketing directors with NSA. Prior to direct marketing, I was a tax attorney. After 9 years of college, I got out of SMU
Tax attorney?
in 1983 with my second law degree. A friend presented this opportunity to me a couple of years ago. After really looking into the company real hard for a couple of weeks, I determined that NSA provided me the most low-risk, high-potential way of tapping into the environmental products market. Long story short, this past year, which was our second year in business, ended up earning more income than my wife and I did from our entire 5-year legal career put together.
Hi, my name is Valerie Malusi. I'm a National Marketing Director from San Diego, California. Approximately 7 months ago, I was shown the NSA opportunity by Vicki and Steve Gagne, National Marketing Directors out of the state of Florida. At the time I was shown this opportunity, I wasn't really interested in a career change, as I had just enjoyed the biggest year of my career, earning an income in excess of $250,000. I had worked for Pacific Telesis and Xerox Corporation in a corporate environment for the past 12 years and was very happy where I was. However, I was impressed with the NSA products, and I was also intrigued with the marketing plan, so I did decide to take a closer look. What I realized when I saw the entire NSA opportunity was this. In my current job, if I were to get sick or if I couldn't work for some reason, my income would stop. However, with NSA, if I built a strong organization and I worked hard, I could enjoy an ongoing income in the future.
Being a banker, I like to touch and feel things that I loan on, whether that be real estate, whether it be a sailboat, whether it be an automobile, or whether it be a manufacturing business. Based on that desire, the individual that got me involved in this business and myself and another former bank president that I introduced to this business flew to Memphis, Tennessee, the home office of this company, spent a half a day looking at the business all the way from the raw material stage through manufacturing, through shipping, through administration. We looked at the first $1 million phase of a $3.5 million computer system, which was a state-of-the-art for a direct sales organization. I felt very comfortable with all the things that I saw during that visit. The other thing that I felt very comfortable about was the intangible, the sixth sense that I had developed in looking at businesses and talking to people over the years in a banking environment. I was very satisfied there, and from a gut feel standpoint, made a decision to go ahead and pursue a little further my analysis. The individual that took me to Memphis wasn't aware, but the bank that handles this company's business.
It is golf music. This is definitely like on the green.
So on the way back to the airport from our visit to the company, we stopped and he put us in touch in a conference room with the officer that handles NSA's business on a daily basis. That officer's response to a couple of key questions I had was the key determinant in getting me involved in this business. It basically I had about the company and the timing and so forth. He told me, number one, that NSA had been a customer of their bank for 10 years and that they had never borrowed any money to grow during that period. That was very strong for me. The other key thing that he brought out was that
again, you're a bank CEO. I don't know why you're doing MLM.
In the low 8-figure range, and for non-bankers that means in the $10 to $13 million range on an average daily basis.
Yeah, he's
combining those two things.
He's just going off.
Liquidity and the fact that basically the company had no debt, so it wasn't leveraged. And the third thing being that they had a strong net worth position. Basically made my decision to get involved. I've looked over the last 16 years at a tremendous number of opportunities that people have brought to me.
I just want to say I love that everyone is using that yapping.
But I've never seen anything.
It's like 23 Skidoo to me. I love it.
Upside potential that NSA has. If you see something in this tape that interests you, you need to get with the individual that introduced this opportunity to you and attend a local orientation meeting to get the full facts about the compensation and pay plan for NSA.
The front page of USA Today reported
NSA
results from a recent poll that 82% of the
company.
people view water pollution and air pollution as the #1 problem we face down the road. Over 90% presently have no type of in-home water filtration, and approximately 99% have no in-home air filtration. We say it again. The timing could not look better to become an NSA distributor.
And that's Financial Trends of the 90s Executive, produced by an independent distributor. Dreams Unlimited. Dreams Unlimited. All right, so that was Financial Trends for the 90s Executive. Next up is TPN, the video. Okay, chat, before we get started, guess, what do you think TPN is selling? Or what does TPN want you to sell? Because this one made me... Toilet paper, that's a good one. This one I also had to edit. Toilet paper network, toilet paper. Okay. Your guess. Good phones, shoes. Shoes actually isn't bad. I'm actually surprised there's not an MLM for shoes.
What you are about to see is an overview of a revolutionary, explosive growth industry. You will also be presented with a ground floor opportunity to
I
profit
saw that.
on this
I got the alert.
revolutionary shift
I'm
in
going to check
technology.
that after stream. We only got a couple of
There's a
videos to go.
very
Thank
small
you, though,
window of
Dragon
opportunity.
Cat Man.
Please pay close attention.
Okay.
Because if you blink, your financial future could be in jeopardy.
All right, don't blink.
This is called opportunity.
It will continue without us if we don't grab a hold of it.
The timing is never going to be better than it is now.
Toys?
Incredible.
Okay.
This opportunity is for anybody.
And we give them a chance to make it simple. The opportunity
Bingo!
is never going to be
Pasta
here
with
again.
all sorts of different
and
sauces.
all I want to do is be a part of that.
It's been fantastic.
Why are these people so excited? What industry could cause this much excitement? Digital satellite television. A
That's right,
technology
digital
revolutionizing
satellite
the way we watch
television.
television. A fundamental shift in technology, which is bigger than what happened in 1954, the introduction of the first color TV set. In fact, it took over 7 years for sales of color TVs to hit 1 million units. Digital satellite television, 1 million units in the first 10 months, 4.5 million units today. By the year 2000, experts predict 20 million. By 2005, 60 million. That translates to more than 20,000 people going digital every day. You've seen the ads. You've seen the confusion. Digital satellite TV. Everybody wants it. No one has it. According to a recent Nielsen study, the majority of North Americans are simply waiting for a price breakthrough before they purchase. Welcome to The Breakthrough.
The People's Network!
TPN, the creators of the Success Channel, are
The
now
Success
offering
Channel!
a state-of-the-art, fully digital satellite system with over 160 channels of crystal clear CD quality entertainment, movies, sports, and music. Professional installation, worry-free in-home service, free monthly program guide. The best value in satellite TV. Nothing to buy, nothing to maintain.
It's like going around and giving away free CD players to anybody who sticks their hand out. And that's what we've got with TPN, but yet it's something everybody does, is just watch TV, and they all want more of it.
Everyone we've talked to has been interested in it.
I truly have never seen a product so easy and exciting to talk about and share with someone.
I mean, look around your neighborhood now. Nobody has one of these. Almost no one. They're virtually invisible. Everybody wants one. A lot of people don't know that they can get one for no equipment to buy.
When I ask them about the digital satellite dish and so forth, they're always receptive to it.
The catch? Try our network for 1 month.
Heroes.
TPN Success Channel, the newest, most innovative network on the air. A 24-hour network dedicated to improving lives for the better. A network created for individuals. A network designed by some of the greatest minds of our generation for the sole purpose of bringing people the ideas and strategies to help them earn more money, close more sales, bring magic to relationships,
What?
raise happy, self-confident children, increase their energy and vitality, save money on taxes, climb the corporate ladder, negotiate a big raise, increase profits in small business, and more. What would it cost to hire TPN's coaches and consultants or see them in a seminar?
20
Hundreds,
billion.
even thousands of dollars. But for the first time, people can now receive this incredible information in their home on television for as little as 2 cents an hour. TPN Success Channel, only $9.95 per month. Less than 30 cents a day for information worth tens of thousands of dollars every month. Plus, access to hundreds of exclusive world-class TPN products and services at deep discount prices with no obligation to buy. We're so sure you'll love the Success Channel that we're willing to give you this incredible offer. Simply try the Success Channel for 1 month. If you don't think it's the best value on television, you can cancel anytime and keep the digital satellite entertainment. That's it. All they have to do is try the Success Channel for 1 month. Pay for professional installation, and pick their entertainment package. Never before has it been so easy. Never before has it been so simple.
Simple.
And
it's
never
easy.
before has there been an opportunity for you to cash in on this nationwide digital conversion.
Prepaid legal services acquired
I went to
it?
the driving range last night. Saw 3 guys there standing talking. Went up to him. And one of them was a home builder. He wanted a satellite immediately. One said he was thinking about it. The other one said he was definitely, he and his wife had been shopping.
Keep it weird. Thank you so much for finding that info. Oh my God.
I walked up to a gentleman and he looked real sharp. I said,
Prepaid legal services will empower you.
And he says, no. I says, well, if there's a way you could get one with nothing to buy, would you be interested? And he says, how?
I was in Chicago having breakfast the other day. Asked the waiter if he had a satellite system. He said, no, but I'm thinking about getting one.
Never have had a need product like this. Everybody's got a TV.
I don't see it as trying to sell something, and therefore it's made it very easy for me to go out and talk about it.
Digital satellite television. It's not a matter of if people will profit. It's just a matter of who. According to the Nielsen report, over 60% of the population are waiting to hear 2 questions. Do you have one? Do you want one?
I'm
and
always
if you
asking
can
that.
ask those questions, we pay you.
You literally can turn every television watcher into a $25 sale.
$25 every single time you connect somebody
Yeah,
to a satellite
MLMs are
dish.
cool
Then that
if you
goes
want to
to
see
$50,
people
then
as
it goes
walking
to
bags of
$75
money, which is
every
really
single
evil.
time you connect somebody to a satellite dish, $75, $75, $75, and that goes all the way up to $100 for every single satellite dish that goes into the market.
Never before has corporate America opened up the pearly gates and allowed people like you and I, what they call average people, to profit on something as big as television.
You know, do you want one? Do you got one? I can help you get one. The concept worked.
TPN could spend millions at a fancy advertising agency asking these questions via TV, radio, or newspaper ads. We could set up a retail chain with high overhead and expensive middlemen. Instead, we take those dollars and pay them to people like you who are willing to ask those 2 simple questions. Do you have one? Do you want one?
I'm not
Developing
asking anyone
preferred
that.
customers is just that easy. People want digital satellite TV, and they are going to get one. Until now, it's just been so confusing and expensive that people have just been waiting. TPN has the best way for North America to go digital, and the only way for people to profit. No hidden fees. No long-term commitments, no maintenance or upgrade worries, just superior digital quality, access to the exclusive TPN Success Channel, and unlimited entertainment with a one-time installation fee. TPN does have the best deal in the market, and the only deal in the market that lets you profit. This offer is not available in any store, only through the exclusive
watch the
network of
Success Network
TPN
with
distributors.
me. Yeah, I love it. I love being
You can earn immediate
successful.
bonuses for simply introducing
God,
the
I
TPN
love
program
success.
to
God,
prospective
success is
preferred
great,
customers.
isn't it? Yeah, it's so
and can earn
nice.
ongoing commissions when those preferred customers purchase products or services from TPN.
Oh,
The second way to profit
okay.
is to
Sells
share
you
the
stuff.
opportunity
Okay.
with others. You can develop your own sales force. If you see the opportunity, don't you think others will? By helping them become distributors, you can make serious income.
To not have to answer to anybody, not have to go to work in the morning, to be able to have that total freedom of lifestyle is something that I've never had in the corporate world, and it's something that I've always yearned for.
What I love about this business is the time freedom. I work out of my house. I get up every morning and put on my workout clothes. I can work out anytime I want. Got my hair in a ponytail, no makeup, and I just get to talk to people all day long about the greatest company in the world.
There is
Okay,
no
but
discrimination
when I
with
stream,
TPN.
I get to do the
Anybody,
same thing, and I get to
opportunity
talk
is
about whatever
open
I
to
want.
everybody. It doesn't matter what your education or color, creed is. It doesn't matter. The opportunity is there if you want to take it.
People that are retired or near retirement can take advantage of this, and they can take advantage of it by just working very, very part-time and supplementing their pension or their Social Security. But they also can really take it serious and make some substantial income.
We work together all the time, 7 days a week, toward a common goal.
24 hours a day. So even we're about to go to lunch, but even at lunch, we can talk business and enjoy each other's company because we're both interested in the same thing. So There's no greater force in business than a husband and wife team who love what they're doing.
Just the freedom of being able to set my own schedule.
Scamming as a couple.
That's what I like about it.
As far as the cost of the business, it's very, very low. Very low. Low risk, high return.
When I looked at TPN, I felt like I had some things to risk and lose as a physician by virtue of my reputation that I've built over years, working hard. And when I learned of this management team and met the founders of this company, I knew I was in good hands.
And I don't know how many other 25-year-olds could say this, but basically I wake up in the morning, work for myself out of my own home, you know, own my own time. I'm not answering to anybody, and I'm able to travel the world, travel with my partner Kelly, and just have a great time.
Is there a financial opportunity in TPN? Well, let me just tell you. Last month I was able to buy a brand new Lexus cash. With what was left
What if
over,
I don't want a
sent
Lexus?
my parents on a trip around the world. Made a down payment on a new vacation home. And with that, I have an unbelievable lifestyle.
There have
total
got to be
financial
Twitch
freedom,
streamers who do
I have no
Amway
employees.
stuff.
You've
Not
seen
me.
the industry.
I
You've
will
seen
never
the
sell
product.
you anything.
You've seen
I
the
don't
results.
wanna.
The only question is, do you see the opportunity?
No.
Never before has the average person been able to profit from TV. Never again will you see an opportunity of this magnitude. Never before has a market been so ready to explode. A product everybody knows about, a product that everybody wants, and a product that no one has yet. TPN provides an incredible opportunity to cash in on the digital satellite revolution. With an average of over 20,000 people switching daily to digital, the window of opportunity is closing.
One scam,
As I
guys.
see it,
Yeah, let's
there
go,
is
bro.
one risk in TPN, and that's not doing it. And finding out later that it was the biggest thing imaginable.
Act now. Contact the person who gave you this tape, and they will show you how easy it is to get started. Take action and begin building your future as you profit on America's favorite pastime and the world's greatest technology shift, digital satellite television. TPN, the People's Network.
The People's Network. Chat, what do you think? Can I get you into some satellites? All right, we got one more video left. This is the final video of the show. Thank you all so much, everyone, for watching. This last one, I want you to guess what it's selling. It's called An Idea Whose Time Has Come. I'm not kidding you. It's called An Idea Whose Time Has Come. What do you think this could be? This one is a real showstopper. Human meat, absolutely. Cars for dogs, Laserdisc, so that's a good one. Being square, of course. Man, one's a trip. Disc CD charger, Find My Key device, Man Cave products. Also, look at the production values on this. Yeah, I'm in Southeast Asia. You don't need to know where. This is not rice. No, it is not rice. That is a good guess, though. Boat time. Yeah, you got it, Smebble. It's fruit. I'm glad this one has gone around. This one is a real trick. This is a real stupid one. Maytol Botanical International presents An Idea Whose Time Has Come. What a name for your MLM tape. I'm sorry. I don't think it's mangosteen. It might be.
Nothing
but I don't think
can
it
stop
is.
an idea.
Okay.
Whose time has come. Nature's wonders are seldom heralded by public acknowledgement and acclaim.
That's
Yet
true.
their effect is no less significant. Often the same is true with man's achievements. A little-known discovery by a young Austrian scientist in 1922 is now having a far-reaching impact on world health. What began as a natural interest in botanical composition and chemistry culminated in an unselfish contribution to improve health. The scientist, Karl Urach. His discovery?
Look at
a
this little,
formula
look at
that
him.
today is known as KM.
He's so handsome,
No
what the
important
hell?
news flashes heralded the discovery. No documentation in prestigious journals. Just an unpretentious sharing of human insight, intricately linked with botanical formulation. This was not an accidental discovery, some chance stumbling onto an already prepared marvelous elixir.
No, no.
As a young boy, growing up in Austria, Karl spent much of his early life in the natural environment of the nearby mountains and alpine valleys. Through repeated exposure to the natural elements, he soon gained a deep love of nature and the beauty of the world around him. At the same time, he developed a profound respect for the life-sustaining properties of natural plants and herbs.
I don't know if they tell you the plants and herbs in the video. I gotta know. It's
Along with
very
his friends,
stupid. It's
Karl
great.
developed into an accomplished and avid mountain climber. Drawn by the beauty and challenge of the nearby Alps, Karl would often go to the mountains to perfect his skills.
I really don't know if this is the mangosteen.
It was during one such
MLM,
expedition
but
with some companions
I kind of want it
that
to
Karl
be.
experienced a harsh lesson, one that nearly cost him his life. During this particular climb, Karl experienced a shortness of breath
Oh,
and
no.
a sudden severe loss of strength. All his energy literally drained from his body. He found himself helpless against the demands of the rugged mountain. Never had he experienced such a feeling. He was shocked and frightened at what was happening to his body. In time, he overcame his initial panic and began to conserve his
Wait,
strength.
he had an anxiety
so he
attack?
could endure this experience and retreat down the mountain.
He had a panic attack while climbing? And that made him get the fruit?
This experience was a turning point in Karl's life. Driven by his
He
need
climbed
to
a mountain and
overcome this
got
physical
scared and
limitation,
climbed down.
Karl was
What the
convinced that the combination of science and nature held the key to the solution. He had already entered the University of Vienna at an astonishingly young age and had devoted himself to the study of plants. Now, suddenly, he was driven by an urgent need to combine the laws of science with the wonders of nature. Convinced that a solution to his experience on the mountain was in his grasp,
The
and
solution
already
is
intrigued
to-
by his studies of certain plants, which revealed a wide variety of unique and marvelous properties, he now sought for a combination of botanicals which would have a significant positive effect on the human body. He determined that if he could discover the right elements, the combination would work in concert with the body's own systems to bring about the desired positive results. This quest became the
Again,
subject of
the
Karl's doctoral
solution
dissertation,
is to get good.
and Karl dedicated
And get
himself
over your
completely
anxieties.
to the discovery of this combination. For 8 months following his experience on the mountain, Karl worked with painstaking care, experimenting, observing, evaluating. Methodically, he continued to analyze the molecular structure of each plant and combination, knowing that the molecular possibilities were virtually endless. Still, he continued, day by day, driven by his need to unlock the secret. After 8 months of concentrated research, experimentation, and study, Carl's formula was nearly complete.
Do you think he's going to be able to climb the mountain?
After a particularly intense day
Again,
in
he
the
should have
lab,
gotten trained
his mind
himself
no
instead of
longer
doing
able
this
to
mechanical
respond,
shit.
Carl went home to sleep. While asleep, his mind continued to evaluate data and reason potential solutions.
This fucking guy.
While in deep sleep, the solution came to him. The impression in his mind was so vivid, he literally jumped up in bed to record the details, afraid that the elusive images would be lost if he didn't respond quickly. The next morning, Carl rushed to the lab in anxious anticipation and found that indeed the mystery had been solved. His formula was complete.
Okay.
Carl presented his formula
Can we
and the
see the
research
formula?
that led to its discovery to his
Can I
mentors
see
at
what's
the
in?
university
What
as his
we need to
doctoral
use?
dissertation. His presentation concluded, Carl was satisfied that the findings of his research and experimentation had sufficiently impressed this gathering of prestigious scientists. He was, however, left with no immediate indication of their reaction. He was left to wait and
Again,
reflect
what does it do?
as they reviewed his presentation.
What does it do? How does it
Carl
help you
Urak was
climb?
informed a few days later that as a result of his impressive discovery, he was awarded a doctorate with honors.
What?
Amazingly,
This is
Carl
bullshit.
Urak at the time
No way, this is
was
total
a mere
bullshit.
19 years old.
Yeah, you got an
Carl
honorary
Urak
doctorate
had
at 19
succeeded.
years old because you couldn't
A
climb a
formula
mountain.
that
That's
successfully
exactly what
blended
happened, huh?
science and nature. Originally developed for his personal use, he realized that it was now starting to have a positive impact on those with whom he shared it. News of his discovery spread, and he soon received requests from colleagues, family, and friends.
Hi, I'm 19
for
years old. This
samples
is what a
of his formula.
19-year-old looks like.
With absolutely no thought of commercial gain, he freely
Oh, of
offered
course
his
no
formula
thought of
to
commercial
those
gain.
whose lives he touched. In 1922, and for many years thereafter, Carl was compelled to respond to the many requests of friends and acquaintances that had benefited from his discovery. Carl did not fully understand at the time that he was paving the way for people everywhere to benefit from his precious formula. However, Carl's life had been changed, and he knew it. The years following this discovery amply demonstrate his determination to use his skills in science to help mankind.
Okay, I'm looking at
His
the bottle,
work and
and it
research
says
throughout
that
his life
this
led to
helps
significant
regulate the
advances
body's
in
pH
improving our
balance, supports
environment,
digestion,
nutrition,
and provides a
and
good source
general
of potassium and
well-being.
iodine. You can get that from a banana.
Carl sought and was awarded many patents in his life.
Holy shit.
However, he did not seek to commercialize any of these discoveries.
Of course
He
not.
was a man of science, not an entrepreneur. Carl Urak's legacy is one of service, unselfish motives, and devotion to the improvement of the health environment of mankind. And it all started in 1922 in an obscure
It's just
laboratory
potassium,
in Austria.
yeah.
Carl had no way of knowing at that time
Cool bomb.
that his need to overcome a personal challenge would fuel a discovery that would some 60 years later become known as KM, and that his commitment to helping mankind would form the foundation of a worldwide movement known as Mattol Botanical International. And people worldwide would benefit from his discovery made long ago.
Would they?
Morning.
Hi.
Oh, thanks. Ooh, running a little low on product.
I was just going to order a case.
Great.
Over the many years since the initial discovery, the product itself has not changed. The method of getting it to the thousands of distributors worldwide has. Mushrooming worldwide use now requires a sophisticated ordering and distribution system. Incoming orders from consumers and distributors are processed at the company's headquarters in Montreal. Families call in orders from anywhere in North America to this state-of-the-art response system.
This is our first case, so we're sure anxious to get it.
Okay, Mommy order
That's
will be
me doing a
processed
southern
today
accent.
and will be shipped tomorrow.
Oh, great.
From the centralized facility, incoming orders are relayed to regional distribution centers, where the product is shipped directly to the doorstep of the distributor.
So he just needed to eat a banana, basically, to climb the mountain.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Let me just get you to sign right there. You know, I've sure been delivering a lot of this lately. What exactly is it?
It's
Drugs.
incredible. Hey, if you've got a minute, I could tell you about it.
All right.
Great.
No.
Just
Hey, thanks a lot.
I
Mattol
love being
Botanical
sold on
International
products when I'm delivering
was founded
items.
on a very simple principle.
Nothing retail
The
workers
principle
love
that
more
Carl
and
Urach
service workers
used
love more
from
than
the
a sales
beginning.
pitch while they're at work.
Sharing a unique discovery with friends, acquaintances, and loved ones.
Oh, Sally, remember I'm playing racquetball with Jim today.
Okay.
See ya.
Have a good day.
Love you.
Hey, you about ready?
Yeah, just a second. Oh, it just came today. Whoa.
All right.
Ugh.
Hey, you are history today, my friend.
And just as Carl Urach discovered, sharing this formula
Yeah, I like the
can be a
homoeroticism.
source
No,
of
not
true
here, but
enjoyment.
the earlier homoeroticism.
It's as natural as friendship.
Don't look at me that way. You already had yours.
Don't give it to the dog. Oh, that's awful. Look at that. Sludge. You're taking it to school. Okay. No, you're not. You're not doing that. You are not.
Maybe this will help me be on time.
Oh, my God.
Does anyone have anything for show and tell today?
No.
Come on up, then.
And as with all great discoveries, the enthusiasm we feel in
That's a
sharing
Larry Bird
KM
signed basketball.
is equaled only
And
in
a
the
puppy.
joy of those
How
we
could that
share it
compete
with.
with potassium?
Hey, Susie's house is on the way. Do you mind if we drop this by first?
What is this? I didn't know you were in business.
I am. It's a wonderful business.
The strength of Mattol Botanical International lies in this original formula, a singular product which simply has no peers.
All right.
The thousands of distributors we refer to as the Mattol family has found how powerful of a partner the product is.
Sally, you better make that 3 cases this time. Okay.
And that no amount of marketing hype can replace the true effectiveness of a one-of-a-kind product. The time has come for this obscure discovery by a young scientist so long ago to come to light and spread from person to person, friend to friend.
This is from a Sliders
Nation
alternate universe.
to
It feels
nation.
like it.
The purpose for establishing Mattol Botanical International was not to meet marketing agendas.
Of course
but
not.
to provide a medium to carry on the work of Dr. Carl Urach.
Of course,
To positively
it's just
impact world
selfless.
health. It has been over 65 years in the making, and the pieces are now in place. The legacy of Dr. Urach has been passed to 3 very special individuals who have taken upon themselves the ambitious task of embracing the challenges of impacting world health. Anthony Urach, Carl's son, Doctor of Biochemistry, longtime benefactor of the product, with whom the formula was entrusted. J.F. Robert Balduc, co-founder and president of Mattol Botanical International, whose courage and foresight brought form to the movement in 1984. And Sam Kalanick,
Sam,
Executive
good old
Vice President,
Sam,
whose clear vision and sensitivity has defined Mattol's mission and laid the groundwork for the exciting challenges ahead. Nothing can stop an idea whose time has come.
All right, bye.
Mattol Botanical International was founded on the basis of the legacy of Carl Jurek, giving back more than we receive, enriching our environment and our lives, and those people we have contact with. That is the Mattol mission, and it has just begun.
With the knowledge of what this product can do and how important it is in lives of people, you are...
He's watching us from heaven.
...of this important legacy.
The pieces are in place. The time has arrived. The opportunity is in your hands.
My hands? All right. This is the first MLM company in Canada. Beautiful, beautiful. Folks, can I sell you on some potassium? A lot of it. Like a bunch of cases of it. You can give it to your, like, bus driver. Your kids can drink it. Your dog apparently can drink it. I want to give this to my dog. I want to give my dog any MLM product. Mountain Land. $19.90. Beautiful. Well, thank you all so very much for watching An Idea Whose Time Has Come with me and all these other videos. Thank you so much for watching. Oh boy. Oh boy. That was good. That was that was a lot of MLM. So don't join any of those MLMs. I don't think any of them really exist anymore except for like prepaid legal services. And yeah, you can make more money now, I guess. Thank you all so much again for watching. Let's see. Next week, what am I going to be doing next week? Oh, I think next week is the return to Quest for Homosexuality. And then after that, it's going to be the rest of this issue of Interactive Entertainment 04, since there's a lot of stuff in this issue that we got to go through. So I'll be bringing that back in 2 weeks. But next week will be more homosexuality. So do look forward to that. I'll be streaming on Friday as well with Sardeus at 8 p.m. Central. So look for us there at Retro Pals. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you all so very much for watching. Let me find someone to raid here. Let's see who we got. Who's here? How about... It's been a while. Let's raid Dora 3. I haven't raided them in a long time. Let's do that. All right, Dora 3, we're gonna raid ya. Thank you all so very much for watching, folks, and have a fantastic day.